All right. Welcome to podcast. This is podcast number 3. Welcome. We've got with us Rory Diesel. Very, very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We're in my home, so I'm so chuffed to finally have a podcast here. This is where I've been testing everything initially to get set up and all the rest of it. So I'm super chuffed to be at home in my space doing a podcast with you. So the idea really, Rory, today is obviously you're a specialist in keto, and it is what I want to discuss. In addition to that, I want to discuss health and lifestyle in general, which is something that you are very, very, very aware of and are very au fait with. There is the differences in terms of the different diets that are going on at the moment, keto, banting, paleo. You've got different professionals at different levels. So you've got professional fighters. You've got somebody like me, sort of in between, 37, 4 times, 5 times jiu-jitsu training. And then you've got the average guy on the streets. And I really want to discuss the differences between what it is that we can do to try and get healthier and all the rest of it. So before we started off, you were saying to me that banting and keto essentially is the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. You basically want to get your body into ketosis, which is your body using fat as its primary energy source. Not no carbs. You need carbs. Your liver and your red blood cells need carbs to survive.
Okay.
Most other cells in your body don't need it at all.
Okay.
So essentially, just swapping over from the carbohydrate turning to glucose to fat turning to a ketone.
Okay. So this is how it works. Right now, I'm on a not me because I'm on a semi keto diet. After today, I'll be on a full keto diet, but I'm semi keto. I've been playing with it, but essentially, this is what happens, right? For this average person out there having refined sugars and having carbohydrates in terms of pastas and rice and potatoes and things like that, your liver is turning those carbs and sugars into glucose, correct?
And to glycogen for storage.
And glycogen. Okay. And that is my energy source.
Yes.
Right. 100%. So what the aim of keto is the idea of keto is I'm no longer using the carbohydrates, the glucose as the energy source. I'm now using fat as the energy source. Okay. Positives, negatives.
They both. Let me see this. It depends on your body type and what you're doing. So, like, you can get some pretty lean athletes and they can have their white rice. I mean, I feed a lot of the guys white rice and this and that. It depends on what you want to do. So, it does give you a quicker energy source. You can be more explosive in the beginning, but it all essentially evens out the longer you're in a fat-adapted state. So, if you're messing around and screwing around with your food all the time, you're not consistent, you're never going to get to where you can get in a ketogenic state to be like performing almost at an elite level, let's say.
Yes.
So if you are doing like a cyclic keto straight from the beginning, with my experience, I haven't seen guys really get into it properly and to adapt properly, because every 5 days you're changing over to carbs. That's what a lot of the guys do. So essentially you're not feeling so cool.
So that is cyclical. Yeah, 5 days keto, 1 day cheat day.
What I like to do with guys is get them fully fat adapted and then start playing around a little bit with carbs, because your ratios change. Sportsmen have a totally different ratio, like a modified keto to medical keto. It's totally different, and that's where people make mistakes. They do medical keto because you can find stuff on that, but when you start getting to the sports, you're going to have to start reading a lot of the guys that are good at what they're doing with that, because there's not a lot of guys. And overseas, there's some guys that can do it. Well, a lot of guys that can do it pretty well, but yeah, it's pretty much that's not bad. Poof, don't do it. And people are changing. They're changing very, very fast. And they've seen that there's a whole lot of bull that's been spoken in the past, because technology changes, but some of the pharmaceutical companies are making so much money off the old stuff that they can't just change. Statin drugs, heart drugs, a third of all the pharmaceutical industry's profit. Yeah. Are they going to take it away? Sorry, we were wrong with half the stuff.
No. And I mean, you go back mid-1970s, 1980s in the States, you had the Heart Foundation, and these guys all had this idea that don't eat protein, don't eat dairy, and so this was a predisposition in terms of where they were of the mind. And of course they found information, albeit very bad information, that validated this, and of course that went out. And there's a lady by the name of Nina Teicholz, and she's an investigative journalist, and she's just released a book, and I can't think of the name now, but she's just released a book which essentially says that she believes that the state of obesity in America right now is as a result of that decision made then.
Same as with the sugar.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's watched the sugar program.
The sugar, yeah.
And you see with the studies, and some guy wants to get up there, and he doesn't lie, but he doesn't tell the whole truth. So he's like, I got this study, and he's like, okay, these countries didn't go with this.
Yeah, that's it. We'll check that out.
I'll take the 16, I think it was 42, and that says I'm right. But less than 50% correct.
So what is the actual science say? So, I mean, I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day, and he said to me, oh, no, I've read about this. And I said, well, I've been reading a lot about this. You know, I'm still very ignorant, and this is why you're here. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to myself. Thank God we're not doing that. So I've been going into this, and he said to me, Hans, what do we do? Because there's so much conflicting information out there. And I said, well, look, everything that I've been listening to lately, Dom D'Agostino.
He's like one of the top.
He's the reason
one of the guys.
in September, October that I originally started going, okay, this is a neuroscientist, and this is what he's saying. And then you've got guys like Chris Kresser. Yes, sorry? Yeah.
Fully modified, but yeah.
Yes, modified. So we talk medical positives in terms of keto. This is what I do understand, right? Things like acne, sorted. Things like type 2 diabetes can be
95% of all people go off drugs.
Off drugs.
We know
type 2 diabetes, epilepsy.
It's very, very good with epilepsy. That's why it's actually come back into the
consciousness. Yes.
Yeah, but basically the drugs came in, and as you know, with most doctors, like food doesn't work. You have to have drugs. I mean, most doctors say that you're talking rubbish. You can't solve yourself with food. That's the biggest mistake people make. Of course, like there's a saying that goes, "Food is healthcare. Medicine is sick care." Once you're sick and you've been eating health, then you use medicine.
I actually posted that exact thing last night on my Facebook.
So it's a saying that does it. So you just got to be careful of what you're doing, and people are just ignorant to it. So they're like, "What do we do here? What do we do here?" It's like you already find someone that does it. There's a decent amount of people. There's a couple of people that do it here, but to find them is
so difficult.
It's difficult. Like I don't also advertise myself. I just work through word of mouth. I don't like dealing with too many people. But.
So are you an actual dietitian?
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
You're a keto specialist.
Not a specialist, but I do it really well. But,
okay.
I essentially do it pretty well.
What I do know you are.
I'm a PC engineer.
You're a?
Yeah, PC engineer. I've done tertiary education with 8 distinctions with computers.
Okay.
With networking and IT and all that sort of stuff.
Really?
So I've done that, but it's just my family. My father was a triple Springbok. My mother was the captain for the Rory Diesel.
Your brother was a fighter?
No, that's my cousin.
Your cousin?
Everyone thinks he's my cousin. My first cousin. My father and his brother are brothers.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's my whole life has been like normal food for me is what people think is super healthy food. It's like I've always your correct amounts of meat, potatoes, vegetables, your normal balanced eating.
That food pyramid is the old thing we got taught.
No, but if you've grown up eating healthy and not screwing around all the time, your body's pretty much intact, especially if you're doing exercise and you're sitting on your ass. Yes. That's the problem. I eat healthy, but sit on my ass. You're comfortable. Don't be comfortable.
Absolutely. So I've got five rules for the year that my brother and I have been discussing, right? So eat real food. Yes. Real food.
As it grows up the ground, you eat it.
There we go. Eat real food. Sleep. Sleep. Yeah. Massively so. Exercise. Yeah. So sleep, exercise. I'm trying to think of the fourth one now. Wow, it's early in the morning. Okay, on the spot. And then from a mind point of view, feed your mind.
Always.
Massively so. And I don't just mean feed your mind. I'm saying read books. So it's not good enough that you just...
Feed your gut, so feed your mind so the books make sense.
There we go. 100%. I like it. So I find a lot of guys will turn around and go, oh no, I'm on a diet. And I'm like, wow, do you train? No, I don't train. That's so difficult for me. I can't diet until I'm training. Yeah. I find that when I start training, I feel a little bit better. And then I go for the Coke and I'm like, water. Yeah. You know, because I don't want to... And then because I'm eating better, I'm feeling better in my training. And so it becomes a feedback loop or a feedback cycle.
It's like a chain that actually makes yourself progress. So if you're not doing this won't work. If you're not doing this, that won't work. So you've got to have like sort of goals set up in line, little goals that each feeds itself. So your training feeds your eating feeds, then essentially feeds your training, and it starts making a
there we go
positive.
And that's when I feel best. Yeah, that's when I feel
when
best.
You add the food in. If you're not training, it works. You feel lacquer, but when you add them all together, you get such a synergistic response with your body. It's like let's go, and you feel better.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So I've decided to try a ketogenic diet, and there's a couple of reasons. I mean, we spoke about some of the illnesses that it sorts out. For me, at 37, I weigh 76 kgs. I train jiu-jitsu 4 to 5 times a week. I run 1 to 4 times a week, depending on work. I'm fairly fit. I'm okay for 37.
Most people,
compared to
way above it.
Compared to most people, I'm a rock star. Compared to the people I train with, I'm terrible. The 25-year-olds, right? Okay, but I'm looking at this not because of I need to lose weight. I'm looking at it because of the additional benefits.
It's a good thing. So it's a good thing. Just to quickly catch you there.
Yeah,
so
please.
Most people think losing weight is healthy. How are you losing the weight?
Yes,
and that's what people get wrong. People come to me, I want to do this and I'm going to be healthy. I want to lose weight. I said, let's get you healthy first, and everything else will follow. Sorry to just jump in there, but that's one of the worst things. I'm losing weight, so I'm healthy. No. It means nothing that you...
Anorexia isn't healthy.
People can sit and eat, and most people undereat so much, like, it's It causes a problem with your metabolism, even if not just overeating, undereating.
Okay, yeah.
Even eating too much healthy food, too much at once, if anything is bad for you. So people get mistaken. It's like, I'm eating healthy, but they're eating a plate of health.
No.
You're going to damage your stomach.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So for me, what I really liked is now let's go into the serious positives that we know about getting into a state of ketosis where my brain is using the fat. Most certainly I've heard of, and I'm waiting for when I get into ketosis, maybe today after what we've done, but the cognitive positives. Cool, yeah. And I've heard many people have said it's this fog that you come out of. And
literally, like it's like you got to like it's like you'll get most people like 90, 95, even probably more 95 people get like they'll start getting into ketosis, start eating properly, and then you get around about third or fourth day, you start feeling quite shit. That's your body just changing over. So that's once again, your keto flu. So
which you counteract with, you told me this, salt,
potassium, magnesium, ketones, exogenous ketones.
Okay.
So you basically your body, and most people give up there because they think, yuck, now I'm feeling crap. Your body's just run out of glycogen. Now it has to start finding energy, and it's like, yes, now it can't find stuff. Yeah. You start using your fat, and eventually, after that initial, it takes about 24 hours. You wake up, and it feels like you've just got a new brain. It's the hardest thing to explain to people because they all look at me, you're talking cuck. And I'm like, no, rude. So you have to experience it. Everyone's like, you were right. You weren't trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you the process.
Yes.
Because most people try and make a big thing about it. So now you're going to feel cuck, but fight it for a day. Some people give up, and they've only done 3 days and like, no, I can't do that. It's like, that's not even a little bit of discipline. No, it's not the discipline. I said, it essentially all comes down to your discipline.
Of course it's discipline.
Everything you do.
Everything.
So if you're feeling crap and you're supposed to do something, you don't do it, that's just discipline. It doesn't matter if you're feeling crap. You're not going to die if you don't do it.
No.
So after that, you'll wake up and you literally feel like someone's put a new brain. You've never felt that good in your life. Yeah. And I've never had anyone else say different. So and the literature says it, but most people don't actually understand it. They think, you're talking rubbish, you can't fizzle that.
And I think most people don't do it correctly, so they never find it correctly. Yeah. Right?
They start going, if I do a little bit like this, it's fine.
Exactly.
It's not.
Exactly. So, precisely. The other thing is that it massively counters inflammation. And from everything I've heard and from everything that I've understood now, a massive part of chronic illness, right, is which right now 1 in 2 Americans have chronic illness.
Coming very close.
1 in 2 Americans.
Look at our government.
I couldn't.
Look at the people in government. They're sitting there and
they're all overweight.
Changing of diets through the years. Our society's probably changed the most compared to any other country in the world.
Very
and
true.
You're changing of food sources, and look at what's happening.
Yeah.
Look at people aren't used to certain food sources. Going to McDonald's all of a sudden, it's easy, and they don't realize the repercussions.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Absolutely. So inflammation. Let's talk about inflammation. I'm of the understanding that inflammation is a massive part of chronic illness, which of course for me prevention is better than cure. So I'm going, right, let's try this thing and let's see how I go. But if it works, I'd rather be doing this at 37 to 47 to 57 as opposed to at 57 going, God, now I've got type 2 diabetes and
let's take the pill.
Let's take the pill.
You won't carry on like we normally are because now I'm having a pill. But
no. Okay. Inflammation.
So inflammation, you get it comes a lot from sugar, but it comes from many different things. Any sort of stress is going to cause inflammation in your life. But food is what makes us run. So you put the wrong things in.
It's our fuel.
It's our fuel. So you put the wrong thing in, you're going to start getting processes that are not agreeable. But you can still live. Your body is pretty adaptable to most things. But the damage shows later. It never shows now. Yes. Your body starts using things certain ways. It only starts using certain minerals or certain molecules and that for very specific processes, and leaves out other processes sometimes because it's not necessary for survival. So you feel normal, like most people will eat a lot, and you don't get heart disease straight overnight. Some people don't know that, and they just drop down dead. You don't get cancer overnight.
No.
None of that. It's probably a crap for saying, but none of it. It's not all 100% hereditary. Because all this, if you look at the change of food sources, the whole world normally goes around the world wars, where everything changed afterwards because they had to now facilitate giving everyone stuff because no one had anything. It was all just damaged and messed up. So now they start adding preservatives to foods and that, and people, you watch the health and nutrition, and the diseases start coming. From those points in history, that's where they start coming. And how can it be hereditary through our whole family lineage if it only started there with most people?
I agree.
And most lineage.
Dom D'Agostino is actually right now busy trying to link, and this is very controversial, so I'm saying it's very controversial, carbs and sugar with cancer.
So no, that's a good thing. So you have a look at a cancer cell. It normally has, I'm not an expert in cancer, but it normally has around about 10 times more glucose receptors in your average cell. So what are you feeding I'm not saying that it causes it, but it's one of the biggest causes of, I think, I'm not a specialist, but it causes it.
So what are receptors? Receptors are basically these little cells that
put it into the cell.
Correct.
Put whatever they're receiving
into the cell. That's exactly what that receptor is. So you're saying to me 10 times more cancer receptors.
That's some of the stuff I've read. Yeah, some of the literature I've read. So
you see.
So also one thing also, but then people say, but why about vegans work? But vegan also puts you very alkaline as well. So it's quite a complicated thing because there's so much stuff. Like it's just an overload of information.
That there is.
Now you've got to pick, and now these guys have got to put it in a form that everyone's going to accept. It's like I've seen this happen and it works. No, it doesn't work because now you've got to have it in a process, but it works different for everyone because this works different.
Yes, I agree with that.
So that's the problem.
And I also agree that not every single diet is right for everybody.
No.
I 100%. So people form these little cults. So for argument's sake, now I've done keto and it's worked for me. So now I become the keto protagonist. And I tell everybody that everybody must go keto. But that's rubbish. I've said to a couple of guys, I've said, look, I'm going keto. And they've asked me what it is. And I've tried to explain it to the best of my ability. And I said to them, try it. Right? But feel what your body says.
You've got to be honest with yourself.
That's it. Feel what your body says. And in certain instances, keto doesn't work for certain people.
Certain people have also emotional attachments to food. It's never going to work with them because they're never going to change it. Keto, you'll find out in the ketogenic eating plan, you're going to find out very quickly your emotional state with food because you can't just have it.
No.
Other forms of eating, or like say, let's go the opposite end of the spectrum when you go to vegan. Some people cannot eat meat. They're just the way they just, that's indoctrinated. That's the way it is.
Yes.
And there's plenty different ways to do things, but you've got to choose what works for you. And what works for you doesn't mean physiologically it works for you, but mentally sometimes things won't work for you either.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean physiologically it works, you have to do it. Do what works for you, but be honest with yourself and how you're feeling and what you're getting. Don't just, like, I have a slush puppy once every week and it doesn't kick me out of kicker. Don't go cut to me. You know, I've had people, both of us, very good friend of mine say that. And you also know him, he was one of your coaches at one stage. And I'm like, no.
No.
You can't do that. Don't go cut to me. Don't tell me you're doing that because you're going to get sick eventually. And too much sugar, too much fat together, not good.
Well, here's kind of the problem that I've realized with the ketogenic diet is, first of all, I've realized I'm eating too much protein. Okay. Way too much protein. I know that. I'm South African.
It's all specific to what you're doing still at the end.
Yeah. So I'm eating too much protein. But here's the problem. I haven't gotten into a state of ketosis, right? So my liver is not yet producing ketones. I'm not eating carbs and I'm not eating sugar, right? Where's my body getting the energy source from?
From probably the protein, the glyconeogenesis, where your protein turns to.
But this is bad now because
not the greatest thing to do to your body. Yeah?
This is my point. This is exactly my point.
That's what most people do. They think that's what they cut out everything. There's no energy source.
Yeah. So I'm cutting out carbs. I'm cutting out sugar. That's cool. I'm eating a lot of protein, so that becomes my energy source.
Cutting out carbs, selective carbs through your vegetables.
Selective carbs, yes. But I'm cutting out the bad carbs.
Yeah.
Breads, rice, potatoes.
Refined and not natural foods.
Yes.
Food-like products made by humans.
Food-like products made by humans. Potato isn't though.
And not, but it's just what it does give with the response. But you can also, there's ways to cook potatoes that the starch doesn't become so bad. So, and that's...
Is that cooling process?
It's a reactive... So basically you cook your potato up, and let it cool down. I've never done it. I've read about it.
I've read about it, yes.
A couple of books that I've never just done it. But
so what that is it's a process of cooking your potato, cooling it down.
Basically most of the glycemic carbs turn to basically like a fiber.
Which is good for your gut biome.
Which is very good for your gut biome. So you're essentially eating something that really fills you up.
Yes.
But you're not getting that insulin response that you get from most glucose or carbohydrates turning to glucose. So that's what's happening there.
Okay. So a hot baked potato as opposed to a cold potato salad. Two completely different things.
Completely different. But the potato can't be cooked 100% as far as I've read this very briefly, so I'm just talking just of what I've read. So the potato must be cooked at around about 90%. So it mustn't be 100% soft.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's also a palate thing. So once you've cooled it down, it's not as palatable as a...
Yes. Well, so now, I mean, this also brings us to another thing, which is the difference between foods that allow you to be satiated and foods that don't. For argument's sake, if I'm eating something like broccoli, right? Nobody's ever binged on broccoli.
Just too hard to chew. Well, if you have it cooked correctly, otherwise
but your body's also getting the right nutrients from it. Nobody's ever binged on meat.
It's still high fiber, it's solid, it's not...
There we go. But you can binge on potato chips.
Yeah.
Massively so. And our reward systems, our reward systems for potato chips and for specifically things like chocolates. I mean, our brain produces dopamine when we eat chocolate.
Superman. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, I'm that guy. I see a chocolate, man, I can smash a whole slab. One night, go. Done and dusted. I make that my bitch. But it's the reward systems.
Yeah. It's all it is. It's
up here.
Your neurotransmitter is just saying, I want that one, I want that one.
Yeah.
I like that one better, do have some more food. I like that one better, have some more Coca-Cola or go have a drink.
And you know, the more I'm looking into this and the more I'm understanding this, it's our bodies are designed to look for the easiest course of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
we are going that you're eating that. It just knows that gives me this. It doesn't know what that is. You know what that is, but it just gives me that.
Yeah. So your body, let's even say your brain doesn't know the difference between a good food and a bad food. All it knows is, I get this reward system. This one tastes bad, takes long. This one tastes good instantly.
So if something happens, I can do something instantly.
Yeah.
But
think about it. How many guys might be in a state of low blood sugar, or I'm about to run or play a soccer game or do something. Oh, let me quickly smash a slab of chocolate because
it'll give you that initial. And then once it's gone, you're like
then you're in trouble. Absolutely.
Then you hit the wall. So nice thing. It's like one of the comparisons you'll read in most of the books that you read about high fat, low carb, and that your body only has around about, most people's bodies can store about 2,000 calories of glycogen. Whereas the average person has got over 40,000 calories of fats available for energy. So if you're doing endurance stuff, and if you know how to do it for like MMA or a little bit CrossFit, you've got a buffer. So you've got your ketones before you actually go into your glycogen, and then glycogen will be used through explosive stuff. It does use glycogen in the body when you're in ketosis, but it keeps the glycogen stored as well, depending on how you're training, how you set up your training, how you set up your timing for competition. And that's where people get mixed up. Competition is very different to a normal person, the way you're eating. So you've got to set it up. It's a whole big process. And it's much easier to cut a person in keto. It's so easy. Even though they get big, they can lose weight very, very, very quickly. Just with manipulating minerals. And
why is that?
Your body releases more water quicker. It's just what I've seen. I can't give you the exact physiological process.
But tell me what you've experienced.
Martin eats almost the whole day, the day before, he's having about 2,000 calories a day just before weighing when he's in a fight. Most people are,
and you're referring to Martin van Staden?
Yeah, Martin van Staden. Yeah. So he's one of the, I think he's the only one in South Africa that is, I don't think there is anyone else.
Who is a professional EFC fighter, who's on the ketogenic diet.
Yeah, I don't think, there's not many. A lot of the guys use it for prep. They don't use it right the way through into fighting, everything like that.
So they'll use it for weight cut, which is your 8-week period.
No, not even the whole. See, you can't just go into keto and operate as an athlete. You have to get fat adapted, and then you still got to tune your body. It takes long. It's taken almost a year and a half for Martin to get where he is. And
oh wow!
If we had done it like in the beginning, we took fights probably a little bit too soon because we've never seen it in competition. But you've got to adapt the body to be able to burn that amount of fat and get that sort of tune to that style. Because it's not essentially the best for it. It's a very hard thing to tune for very explosive movements and very anaerobic training because it changes energy systems. So you've got to be very specific, and not many. That's why I say not many people do it, and because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get it right.
This is the problem.
Yeah, but for jiu-jitsu, it's awesome because you're not picking, you're not wrestling, or you're not punching, so you're not being very, very anaerobic all the time. You're flowing, so it works excellent for jiu-jitsu. It really works excellent because you're not. If you're doing jiu-jitsu super explosive, maybe competition guys do, but if you're doing it as the average person, all intermittent fasting can work very, very well. It works very, very well. Keto works a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion.
I'm with you. And I mean, intermittent fasting is something I want to discuss as well because it's something that I'm definitely looking at the moment. And obviously the idea with intermittent fasting is that I eat within, for argument's sake, a 6-hour window. So I don't have breakfast. I don't have lunch. I may start eating at, let's say, for argument's sake, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll eat until 9 o'clock. Now, why that works for me so well is because, first of all, I don't like breakfast. Okay. Second of all, sometimes I coach jiu-jitsu at 7:30 in the evening. I finish at 9. I'm home at 9:15. Then I'm having dinner by 9:30. So that's the time I'm eating.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm liking the idea with intermittent fasting. So maybe you can shed some light on the positives of intermittent fasting.
Yeah, most people eat breakfast because we're told we have to eat breakfast. It's the way it is. It's like that's what you do. You eat breakfast. That's what you must do. You wake up, eat your breakfast. Most people, their body hasn't even started working because most people wake up half an hour before they need to go to work. With
Yes.
most people.
Yes.
And then to get a break, I don't have time. You haven't made time, so you're never going to have time. You have to make time.
And so you're just going to grab popcorns.
Just anything.
Yeah,
You shove it in your mouth, and
anything.
you feel like
Cocoa
you've got this
Pops.
all sticking in your stomach. You've got everything flying around your body. You're having sugars. So you feel good straight away, but half an hour and you're like getting to work and you're like, coffee. Nothing wrong with coffee if it's done right, but you're just chasing yourself around, then you have some more carbs, and you're chasing yourself around all day. Intermittent fasting basically slows everything down. So, and most people can't grasp this concept because they get scared straight away. You tell them that, like, I have to eat.
Yeah, I have to.
It's the first thing is like, also ketogenic. I can't eat 2 meals a day. Like, I'll die, or 1 meal a day, I'll die. No, you won't. When your body adapts to it, it becomes pretty easy, as you probably found out. It takes a bit of an adjustment process.
Mm-hmm.
Your metabolism sets itself to what you're doing, and you start burning your glycogen in your liver first. So you haven't got glycogen there where it has to now empty and then start doing stuff in your body. You get rid of it, body starts using fat as energy, and you get through to later in the day, you get your food. But if you mess around with it, it's not going to be set in place. So you've got to have a structure once again with anything. You've got to have a structure doing things. This is how I'm going to do it. Most people are saying even with the keto or normal eating, the intermittent fasting, you do it every second day.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So for argument's sake, I don't want to I want to do intermittent fasting, say for argument's sake, on a Tuesday and a Thursday, because that's my jiu-jitsu nights. But then maybe if I look at a full day fast, which is something I want to do as well, I won't do a full day fast when I'm doing jiu-jitsu at night. I might do a full day fast on a Monday when I've got nothing. So that's easy for me, do a full day fast, because from what I understand, when you go into these fasting periods, it actually resets your cells.
Yeah. So let's do, basically, it's like anything, you give it a stress, it's a stress, now I have to readjust, make everything come right, reset your immune system quite a lot.
Reset your immune system.
So you have to have, like anything, like we were talking about just now, you can't be comfortable to get anything done in your life because your body's not going to adapt. Why should something adapt if it's comfortable? If you're sitting comfortable, you're like, you're an unhealthy person. I don't care what anyone tells you. You're going to be unhealthy.
So basically you're saying you've got to be a little bit of uncomfortable.
In anything you do in your life. Where have you done anything that was worth anything that you didn't have to work for? Something's only worth something when you work for it.
Absolutely.
You could get $1 billion from your father. You're just going to look at that. Like, he's living the life. No, he's not. He's just blowing shit and he's got no responsibility. So he looks like he's having a jolt. He's having a jolt. He's not happy. He's having fun. Very different.
Very different. Between.
It's like starting a diet. You're excited. You're not motivated to start. You're excited. And then people get this. They're like, all of a sudden, if you don't get results quickly, most people fail.
Throughout the
that's why I give a lot of, especially guys that are overweight, ketogenic works perfectly for them because the results happen straight away. So they're not fighting themselves. I'm getting, the first week the inflammation drops and not straight away, but a lot of it drops and guys can sometimes lose 5 kilos in a week.
Yeah.
And it's not fat burning in your body eating itself, it's just water dropping out of you.
Well, in November, I played with keto and I lost in about 3 or 4 weeks, I lost 4 kgs. And I dropped to the lightest I've ever been.
And you felt the best
in the last 15 years. Literally the lightest I've ever been. Feeling good, feeling strong. See, for me, I don't care about being strong. I care about a gas tank.
Yeah.
I care about endurance. I want to be able to roll for 10 5-minute rounds.
Yeah.
That's what's important to me. Exactly. That's my sport. So that's very specific to me.
Yeah, that's it. Once again, it's very specific. It's like, what do you want to do? Don't just come and do it because everyone's doing it. Don't do it for some other person because you have a little bit of a fight or something goes wrong with what you're liking, it's going to bomb out.
Yeah.
You're going to bomb yourself out because you're doing it for something else. A half-empty glass can't help everyone else. It has to be full before it does anything else. So you've got to sort yourself out first before you start trying to think about other people. And that's what most people do wrong as well. It's hard to do, especially if you're helping other people, like you're a coach. Also help people. I coach people with eating, certain lifestyle changes and that. So you've got to facilitate all that sort of stuff.
Okay, so let's talk now about the average guy on the streets, right? He's 26 years old. He's 85 kgs, 90 kgs, right? My size, so 5'10", right? I don't think you should be 85, 90 kgs at 5'10".
Not really, no.
Okay.
Should be in the 70s.
In the 70s. Yeah. He plays games, right? Goes to work. Average guy, right? Overweight. Lots of health risks. Where does he start if he even wants to try keto?
Do you just stop?
No.
What do you mean?
Rory, it sounds easy. Okay, so for argument's sake, in October when we started speaking about keto, going keto, and I started listening to Dom D'Agostino, etc., for me, I needed to understand what this is about. Don't tell me, follow this diet. My brain doesn't work like that. That's why it's taken me a month or two, because I've really tried to understand. There we go. Start reading.
Don't just ask someone to tell you everything, because that's how you get lost. Everyone that gets anyone that's telling them what to do, if you pay, that's my guy. You don't even know what his qualifications are. Like me, like people think, Rory's been studying. No, I haven't. And I tell people, that's the first thing I tell people. I say, go speak to these people, go to these people. I do some sports scientists. I do lots of different people. It's just because also you need to understand. So go read first.
Okay. But the problem with the reading is there's so much information out there.
So that you have an idea what you're asking about. Same as you.
Yes. I've done the reading now, and now I can really speak to you about it. Now we can really discuss this.
But if you're going to talk about something and you've really got a predisposition to the fat is bad, and I'll start telling you, it's not going to sort of click. So you need another external source that's got no bias.
Yeah.
Do a pro and do a con.
So if somebody wanted to go out and read a bit about it, I would personally suggest somebody like Dom D'Agostino.
100%.
I would also Rhonda Patrick.
Very, very, very good at anything.
Oh,
anything.
Okay, I haven't heard of Rhonda Patrick. Nina Teicholz has just written a very, very, very interesting book on fats, meats, dairy, and all the science behind it. So I would suggest that as well. And then now I'm about to start. Okay. My biggest problem is, of course, my pantry.
The shop you walk into every day.
The shop you walk into. So here's the thing. I can walk into any shop and get anything I want, excluding the food I need.
Yeah.
All right. So all of a sudden it takes...
Exactly what it's like.
So for argument's sake, right, let's quickly talk about some of the things we can and can't do. All right. I need to be taking... I'm getting my energy sources from fats. Now, people get that idea wrong. What are fats? So fats I'm getting from, first of all, things like protein.
Right? Your protein source will normally have a fat.
Will have a fat in it. So for argument's sake, lamb is a nice fatty type of meat.
Yeah, it's one of the healthiest meats.
One of the healthiest, and the one I love the most. My roast lamb is legendary throughout many, many kingdoms. Even Mordor, right? Okay, so protein. Then I'm getting my fats from things like avo, olives, oils, so MCT oils, olive oil, coconut oil. Please stop me if I'm wrong here.
Sorry, fats as well. You're missing all the animal fats.
The animal fats, okay, such as.
So butter.
Okay.
Butter's very cool.
Grass fed.
But everything must come from a healthy animal. So that's where the problem comes in here. Where do we get a healthy animal from? So you go to one of the big chain stores. You're not going to get healthy meat. It's factory meat. Nice red and it's nice and white. It's actually marketed for that. Like the efficacy concealed. It's all nice. Healthy meat doesn't look like that. It's got more of a yellowy tinge to the fat. It's not red. It's like a more brown red. It doesn't. And if you're having game or venison, it's got a strong smell. So most people don't like to eat that just because of what they're like. It smells bad. I can't have it. How they've been taught something that smells that you don't know is bad. And anything we've been taught with, if that is not how we like it, it's bad. And that's where people get wrong. Meat is meat, and this is this. Especially the older generation, because they never had very bad food. Food just worked.
Yes.
Now
very much so.
And we've got everything happening. And
additives, preservatives.
You tell a person that's maybe 70 years old, grass-fed beef. They're like, what are you talking about? Like a cow eats grass. Not the one you get in one of the chain stores. It eats grain. It eats a millie. Where in the hell has anyone ever seen a millie? But I'm eating the best meat. It's AAA grade. How do you know that? It said it over there on the side. I'm like, buddy.
Okay, so let's talk about different food sources. Let's talk about meat. I decide that I want to get grass-fed meat or free-range eggs, because eggs is another very, very good thing that we can do.
Then even get more complicated non-GMO, which you can't really get in South Africa.
I know. Where do I, Huntley Smith, go and buy this type of meat?
Once again, you got to source. Like Google sometimes a good thing.
Okay.
Sometimes people read too much on Google, but Google will give you a lot of information. You just got to filter it. So ethical farming. Look for ethical farmers. Search for ethical farming. Search for grass-fed beef. Doesn't essentially have to be organic. Organic's always good to have with less chemicals, but you start simply. Grass-fed or free-range.
Okay. Where do you get your meat from?
I get it from a butchery in Oaklands, in the north end near Melrose Arch on 11th Avenue.
Okay.
They have a free-range grass-fed beef. So I buy there, and it's pretty cheap, like 159 Rand a kilo. So that's for rump. Not all of meat cuts, but for rump and for my boerewors stuff, 110 Rand a kilo.
Okay.
Going grass-fed. And you just got to shop around. There's lots of different places. So you got to shop, you got to look. Jackson's is one of the more famous ones in the north. But stuff is pricey because
I know
they're not going to grow half the speed that it
I know. This is such an issue. You know, it's ridiculous that we live in a day and age where I want to be healthy, and essentially big industry is going to penalize you for that.
Because they want to grow every year by a certain percentage.
In terms of cost, yeah.
Take away quality. People don't know what quality is anymore because they've been told what quality is.
Yes. We've been sold quality.
Yeah, we've been sold cheap. Cheaper it is, the better. No, it's gone total backwards society. And that's the problem. It's just who we're telling to rule us.
Yeah.
We always want someone accountable. We never take them on the accountability for anything. It's like, you did wrong. Okay, we'll vote for you again and let's just try this again. No.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you.
And the money involved from the corporates is just not helping because they have to survive by telling us what we need, and if we believe them, it's cool. So the government carries on because they get a kickback.
Let me tell you a frightening thing I heard the other day talking about this exact thing. Obviously, you know Viagra, right? And Viagra actually came about as a byproduct of something else. And I can't remember what it is that they were studying, but they were trying to study something. And then, of course, the byproduct was Viagra, right? Yeah, exactly. So they took this to an advertising company, and the advertising company essentially manufactured the word ED, erectile dysfunction, as an illness. It never existed. It never existed. The goddamn company went and said, all right, how do we do this? Okay, ED. Do you have ED? Oh my God, I've got ED. Here's a pill. How frightening. How frightening.
But that's how easy it is to do.
Yeah.
And it's done with the statin drugs as well. I don't like to speak too much because it's quite complicated cholesterol, but it's the same sort of program.
Okay. So the thing you're talking about cholesterol is we've been sold the idea for many, many years, and it probably originated from America because, I mean, that's essentially where it came with the Heart Foundation, right? Where a high cholesterol is bad for you. And people say to me when I say, well, I'm going to go keto, they're like, oh, what about your cholesterol levels? So what you're saying is that essentially cholesterol is not bad for you.
That can be bad for you. Once again, how you're mixing your food and how you eat, and if you're inflamed, there's not many predispositions, but you can go for tests, and you can go test for your inflammation response, your C-reactive proteins. You can go see particle size of your LDL. LDL is not really bad.
Okay.
The particle size of the LDL is bad.
So you have LDL and then you have HDL.
HDL, yes.
Right. LDL.
High density and low density.
Yes, lipoproteins. And essentially, you need cholesterol to carry the proteins in your blood. Am I correct?
You need cholesterol for all your hormones.
For all your hormones.
To produce hormones. Without it, you can't.
Okay.
So now that's why people have so much. And not everyone gets it once again. If you've had a pretty healthy lifestyle, you can eat a very balanced diet. You can have a lot of carbs as long as you're exercising and using them. But if you can eat too long through your life, you're going to have certain predispositions. But most people can do it. There's not many people that can't do it. It's just you've got to go for the right tests. You can't just go and let's do this straight away because you could have a problem already. And certain problems will just get compounded if you're not taking it in the beginning 100% seriously. Because most people, they learn a lot in the beginning. No matter what you tell them, they're going to experiment.
Yes.
So you don't want...
And there's nothing wrong with experimenting.
Nothing wrong with it. That's how you got to learn. But you've got to do things correctly. Make sure it's for you. Make sure you are in the state that you need to use it. I mean, it works really well with most people overweight, but you've got to make sure that person can take it in there. You've got to go for this test, go for that test, go check.
Okay, so you say...
We don't do half of the test. Well, I haven't found it yet, but an LDLP is one of the ones you want to do. We don't do an LDLP. Our doctors don't do it. That's your particle
What sizing. Is an LDLP?
It's your particle sizing of your cholesterol.
Okay.
That's the most important part of it. So a large particle can't stick into a lesion from inflammation in your vein. A small particle can.
Okay.
See.
All right. And I mean, I know what a lot of people don't do is, and it's a problem, but we don't go for the proper testing because I don't even know what test to go for. I don't even know what to do. Right.
That's the simplest one to go before your cholesterol to see inflammation and particle sizes. And then you can also go for a CT scan for arteriosclerosis, which will tell you how much fat is actually on your bone if you've got that problem. That's the problem you've got to worry about. Is your brain clogging up with
fat.
Calcium and fat.
Okay.
Yeah, calcium also.
And where does the calcium originate from?
Calcium from just eating. So you got your calcium. If you don't have vitamin K, your calcium stays in your blood, and you can mineralization of your vascular system.
Okay.
It makes it hard. Makes it can't move, can't vasodilate, can't constrict. People forget about that.
Okay.
Vitamin K is very important.
So I do. So let's say, for argument's sake, I do have a very, very high cholesterol, and it is something that I suffer from as a predisposition of my history. Right? Should I then be worried about a ketogenic diet?
If it's not done correctly, yeah. So the fat profile that people, like a ketogenic way of eating changes with certain people. So you have certain fat profiles, certain ways of doing things. There's different ways to do it. So it's not set. That's where people get wrong. They set it. This is how it says it has to be done. But everyone utilizes energy and does things differently. So it's got to be set for the person.
But I think part and parcel of this problem is it's so goddamn overwhelming.
It is.
You know,
I've been told this a whole lot.
Where do I start? What do I do? I mean, I'm sitting here. I've spent 2 to 3 months listening to hours of podcasts and reading everything I can get my hands on, and I'm a bit confused. Do you know what I mean? So I said to my fiance, so what we've been doing is we've been making cauliflower rice. Buy cauliflower rice. I boil up the cauliflower and I pulp it down and I put salt and pepper and I love it. And now I've been adding pumpkin. And then last night I was like, we can't add pumpkin.
Yeah.
Okay. And she says, why not? So I said, no, well, I was reading this article and it's only green leaves. And she says, no, but I read this article where, and she named them, and I was like, okay, God, no, we can eat pumpkin.
So where was it being told to you from? From what point of reference? So it could be from a medical point of reference you're being told from.
Well, it was just an article.
Alzheimer's, you're going to have way less protein than anyone else. But you're not going to be a super athlete. You might be an athlete.
You see, this is the problem. It's so overwhelming.
Yeah,
because I have a certain disposition. Martin van Staden, pro fighter, who spends 7 hours a day training, has a different disposition. And the average IT guy sitting there sitting in an office, very different. And then within these 3 different categories, you've got health ailments and. So where do we start? I mean, yes, you say, okay, I'm going to read. That's cool. I'm going to read. But
then go to someone that knows what they're doing, or go to someone that's participating in it.
Yeah.
Don't take it as that's the way it is.
Get some support.
Get some support, or get why are you doing it? How did you find out about it? Why did you look for it? Are you just doing it because everyone, once it comes back to it, know your why. Richard and always say that comes from there. Know your why. Know what you're doing. Why are you doing it? Why is he telling me to do it like that? Or why is that person telling? That's all you have to do. Is why is he? What point of reference is he telling you that's wrong? Or why is what point of reference that's right? You can all be on ketogenic eating, but certain ways can be for what you are doing it for can be totally different.
Yes, absolutely. So some can be for weight loss, some can be for health. Mine's not for weight loss. Weight gain.
You don't have to. It's not a weight loss diet. It gets rid of inflammation.
And that's it. And this is what I keep on saying to people. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle.
You have to live it.
It's a lifestyle change.
The people that try and take it as a diet, you can use it as resets. You can do a 3-week reset or a month reset, and it works really, really well. But if you want the benefits of all your body repairing itself like it does with the ketones and anti-inflammation, because you do feel good. You feel really good in it. That's the only reason I love food. I can eat more than most people. But the way I feel and the way I operate and the way everything processes in my head and how I think, and it's just far superior.
Yeah.
I want that chocolate. Don't get me wrong, but what is that chocolate doing?
I want all of it, all the time.
You might as well go take cocaine. Same difference.
Same thing. Dopamine.
Dopamine, but you're just chasing. It's the same thing. You're damaging. Cocaine will screw you up straight away. Not straight away, but pretty quickly. Yeah.
Chocolates will just take some time.
What people don't realize that eat unhealthy is you're going to put the burden on your family when you pass away.
Yeah.
So you're being very selfish. But people don't look at it like that.
No, they don't.
You deal with sick people. I deal with some sick people. And they forget about that. It's like, but my family members are, but you put yourself here. Take ownership of it.
Yeah. Accountability.
Be accountable for what you've done, and then that's the only way you can solve it. You can't go, but this and it's a hard thing to do. Don't get me wrong. People say I'm a bit of a hard ass, but that's essentially the part you've got to take yourself, and you want to find your way how to do that yourself. No one can really help. They can support you, but they can't tell you how to do it because only you know what's going on. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where people get wrong. They make excuses, and you've got to be accountable for what you've done to yourself to solve any problem you've got. And if you're just doing, that's what I say, know why you're doing it, because like you said, you've got to train, and you've got to have a process to get into eating.
Yeah. And
it's with anything. You've got to have a process. Each process has got to support each other and make you motivate. Each person must motivate the next.
Yes. I find that the easiest thing for me is to, for argument's sake, say to myself, set a short-term goal and say, right, like 4 months' time, I may try and enter a competition. Because all of a sudden, okay, that's my goal. So I need to get down to this weight. I need to train this many times. I need to, and people don't set these short-term goals, long-term goals. I mean, I know for a fact that, very interestingly, if you've got a medium-term goal. So let's say I've got a year goal. Do you know that your brain actually produces dopamine in every short-term goal that you've reached? And I mean, if you think about it from an evolutionary point of view, that's how we were designed. We were designed to go, all right, I need to survive. Small goals, small goals, small goals. So every time you reach these small intermittent goals, dopamine.
It's like a like on Instagram. That's what these kids are doing crazy shit on Instagram.
So crazy.
Just that. Oof, yay. And that's it.
I actually had this discussion with my brother and a couple of my friends over the weekend. And I said, look, for this podcast, I just don't give a shit how many likes I get and how many views I get. My goal is good content, good conversation, and it will be what it will be. Because the first podcast, man, I was like looking and going, 1 more view, 2 more views. That's ridiculous. Absolutely.
Like weighing yourself on a scale.
Exactly. 1 milligram less, 2 milligrams less.
200 grams less. And now I'm heavy. I was like, that's no.
No, don't worry about it. Just be.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to goal setting.
Yeah.
And that's what it really does. Goal setting and accountability.
Most people look at the end hurdle and they start running a race and there's boof on their face.
Yeah.
Why did I fall? Well, you were looking over there at the end part and you haven't set the smaller goals.
Yeah.
Don't look at the end. How do you get to the end? Everyone knows where the end is and where you're going to go. How do I get there? and break it down. Like you said, it must be small goals.
Yeah.
Because
small, achievable, measurable.
Weekly goal. Maybe a daily goal every day. Wake up and have the same type of...
So I'll tell you what happened to me and how I lost a lot of weight. So I used to bodybuild.
Most people.
No, I went to the gym. Okay. And I got big. By big, I mean, I'm 76 right now. I was 90 kgs at like, say 10% body fat. That's big for me.
Big.
That's really big for me. Motorbike, accident, right? Completely shattered my shoulder and broken. So I sat on my rear end for about 16 months. Okay. Operations, getting everything sorted out. And of course, what's the first thing I did? I was addicted to dopamine because I trained all the time. I did jiu-jitsu, right? And all of a sudden I couldn't do anything. So what do you think the first thing I did was?
Food, probably.
Food, burger. And what does 90 kgs of muscle turn to when you sit on your ass?
You start losing your muscle and you start picking up fat and eating the same because you haven't got the muscle to burn the fat.
Fat. So eventually, 16 months later, I see a photo of myself and one of my coaches. You don't notice it yourself because it's a slow thing that happens. This, and I saw a photo of myself next to my coach, and I just about to go back to jiu-jitsu, and I saw this photo and I was like, oh my God, I'm fat. You know what I mean? So this is what I did. I drew up an Excel spreadsheet, and at that point I wasn't in the position to train every single day because I repped right around the country. But I said to myself that I need to train 4 times a week, doesn't matter when. So I set up an Excel spreadsheet, and every time I trained, I would give myself a green. And my greens, or each of my training, had to equal 4. If they didn't, I'd have to train on a Sunday. Now that's my punishment because I don't like doing anything on a Sunday, right? So that was my punishment. So if I didn't reach, I actually started off with 3. I started off with 3, with my punishment being a Sunday, right? So I could train in any time, 5 days a week, but I had to hit 3. About 2-3 months later, I increased it to 4, and I'd given myself a year to get back down to. I wanted to get down to like 82. 6 months later, I'd hit it because I got addicted to seeing the greens. I got addicted to going, yes, I made it. Then I increased it to 4. Yes, I made it. And all of a sudden, bam, I lost the weight, got down to 82, then cut for a competition, got down to 76, and I've been 76 for the last 4 or 5 years.
Actually, it's not hard to maintain.
No, it's not hard to maintain.
At all. No, it's not. Your discipline needs to be maintained because they just make an excuse to eat more or to do less. Because they look good.
And you can eat more, but then train.
Train more. And that's the thing also about like December. I hate this. Like, people, we're going away, we can just let loose. It's probably the best time to get your shit into order because you're not doing anything to make you busy. So
you've got the time.
You've got the time. So most people take like, I finished work, so I deserve to fuck my body up. Excuse my language, but
no, please. You're on the internet. Nobody cares.
That's exactly what it is. And it's like, but are you actually looking at that logic? And then you get back into January and everyone's like, New Year's resolution, it's going to fail because it was the same as last year.
Exactly.
Because you did the exact same process and you wonder why. It's like, just look at yourself and be honest.
Yeah.
And most people don't have patience.
Yeah.
They want the result in the
immediately.
I saw some lady, some guy lose 40 kilos, but have you seen him the last 10 years? The year later, let us speak because it was too fast.
Straight back on.
Yeah. It doesn't mean because you look good, you're healthy.
But we live in a society that is programmed us for instant gratification.
Yeah. Everything we do.
Absolutely. Internet.
And everything must be a yes.
Food. Yes. Done. Quick.
You say no, and a person actually has like a... If you're sensitive, you can't let your own problem.
Well, think about it this way. How long does it take? It takes me in the region of, and I mean, I cook a lot. So it'll take me in the region of 30 minutes to an hour every single evening, or my fiance, to cook our meal. Right? Typically.
How about you?
Typically. If I don't have my burger, right, from KFC in 7 minutes, right, I freak out. Where's my burger? Why is it taking so long? And I'm sitting in my drive-thru.
You give yourself a sense of authority, that's why.
There's something wrong there.
But you're also giving yourself a sense of authority, like, I feel, that's what's happening with people.
Yeah.
Because I think now they can tell, I want it now, otherwise what? You're going to get unhealthy.
Instant gratification. So basically, every single takeaway in the world, I can't have any more. Sweets, I can't have any more. Carbs, I can't have any more. Huh?
I eat Burger King if I'm really stuck. Just don't have the bun.
Just don't have the bun.
Yeah.
Nando's?
I have it with the sauce on.
With the sauce.
Yeah.
So I'll order
I won't tell that to a person to be that. I know how my body works.
Okay.
So I can go and do that. I don't tell everyone to do it. In the beginning, you can't do stuff like that. You can't even. Most people can't even have a sugar-free chewing gum because the sugar-free stuff and there's some sugar-free sweeteners give you an insulin response or a high enough insulin response to.
Correct.
I had a guy trying to get into keto just to get into keto. So not to be fat adapted, just to get, took almost a month and a half. And I don't know what was going on. It's like normally the guys are in ketosis, nutritional ketosis in about 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And all he was doing was having half a sugar-free chewing gum a day just because his breath was smelling from the almost getting to and come out. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And he told me after a month, I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you I'm having. And I was like, geez, buddy, that's simple.
I'm doing that as well.
That's simple.
I didn't even think about
Where
that.
do they say you can eat chewing gum on it?
No, they don't. But I mean, it's something I do as before I go see a client.
Let me just do. That's what I do. What you do got you to where you are. People forget about it. It's that simple. No, but I'm just saying. I know you don't know. Most people don't know.
Damn it.
Sugar-free doesn't mean it's not going to give you. You've got to understand what it's doing physiologically to you. There are insulin responses to each type of sweetener you get. Like you remember saying in the kitchen, this does this. That's I didn't have certain sweet, but this one I'm going to give you because I know it doesn't give you an insulin response, even though it's a synthetic.
Okay. So let's talk about sweets, sweetness. Let's talk about trying to make anything that I'm eating or drinking or whatever the case may be a little bit sweeter if I'm drinking if I want to. Okay, so I'm using Banting Revolution stevia powder.
Nothing wrong with stevia, but you just because it's so sweet, you get quite a serious aftertaste sometimes.
Bad aftertaste.
Yeah.
So I use. It's ridiculous.
It's like a knife.
Just a little knife, and then I put it in my coffee. I didn't know that the first time. I almost died. I actually almost died. Okay. And again, it's something that I'm having to get used to, this taste. Like with anything, if I want to drink...
It never goes away, that's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a strange taste.
I don't know, bitter, but it's like a...
What else can I use other than stevia?
So I use stevia, but I use it with erythritol. So
you pronunciated stevia.
That's...
Stevia, no, it doesn't matter. Potato. Okay, good. I just wanted to know, maybe I'm being an idiot.
I don't know. That's how I pronounce it. I don't care what other people think. So.
Perfect.
That's how I pronounce it, and it's like chelated or chelated mineral.
I'm with you. Okay, I'm just checking to find out if I'm an ignoramus.
I like the taste of sugar in my coffee. I've always liked it. I like sweet coffee.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if you like it. Like
I like a sweetened coffee.
But not super sweet. Like just must have a slight sweet.
I used to have 3 sugars, and then I went down to 2, and then I went down to 1, and just before now in the last maybe year, I'm going even less, even half a sugar.
Now, when you get onto like a keto, like sugar doesn't agree with you. Like even if you put it in your mouth, it doesn't agree with you. So the taste of sugar just becomes just not supposed to be there. So even though you want I want sweetness, I think it's not as sweet. If I give it to a normal person, it doesn't taste really exactly like sugar. So I'll take a 1-to-4 ratio. So if I'm taking a 1/4 teaspoon of stevia extract, that's a bit stronger. The actual woolly stevia, I use the woolly stevia extract. I've just brought it out. I'll use a 1/4 teaspoon of that to 1 teaspoon of erythritol. So with a coffee like yours, like we made this morning, I'll use a 1/2 teaspoon of the stevia, not that exact one there, and 2 teaspoons of erythritol. I'll get a sugar taste.
Okay, what is erythritol?
It's a sweetener, natural sweetener. It's found in plants naturally, so they're just extracted from there, same as the xylitol. Okay. But it doesn't give you an insulin response at all. The xylitol's got a slight glycemic index, but not high. It's not going to give you much problem.
So
xylitol sends you to the toilet if you have too much of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't want
you don't kill your animals. You give it to an animal, it will die instantly. Well, not instantly, but very, very quickly. Your dog will die very quickly. Yeah.
Well, then I don't want to be taking that.
No. Most people don't take it because because you mess up. It's one of those things that certain animals just doesn't agree.
We'll stay away from that. So we've got stevia and erythritol, 1-to-4.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I mean, look, if I'm going for the powder here, it would be ridiculous because it's.
You'll have one second. You're going to have to find your favorite.
Yes.
But that's usually where it's at. I was actually surprised because when I saw that the retail outfit that I told you about, they actually tell you on the bottles. It's never been said on the bottles. I used to know about it through other just experience with it, but. It tells you mix these two together, whereas before you didn't know.
You didn't know that.
I knew it, but other people didn't. I learned it from other people. That's why I say ask people that are more experienced because they'll give you tips.
Okay. So then I have been, pre this week, right, using these flavor infusions, which is a 0-calorie flavor infusion that I get from
they normally all work, but you don't want lots of sweet. Like you can have a Coke Light every now and then.
So
if it every day because it's not healthy for you. It's just not healthy.
Okay, so I'm drinking a lot of water, but eventually, goddamn it, water just gets so bland. Yes. If I take something like this sweetener, right, and just tiny, I just want a flavor profile. I don't even want the sweetness. I just want to negate the blandness of the water. And fine.
It works. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't see there's anything wrong with it. Don't go do tons of this stuff.
Yes.
It's not good for you.
Yes.
The natural ones like the stevia and the erythritol, they've never been proven. Other people say, yeah, but erythritol has been shown to kill flies. Avocados have been shown to kill flippin' birds. So If a parrot eats avocado, it dies. So like, we can't eat avocados.
Okay.
Because
if a parrot eats avocado, it
yeah,
dies.
but think about it. If erythritol flies it, so you mustn't have it. No, it's a different species of animal. It doesn't work like that all. That's why when they test stuff on animals, sometimes it cross over, but 100% of the time the stuff you buy that in tests don't work.
I'm with you.
So, well, it doesn't mean because the rat, he operates well. I'm not a rat, dude. Don't give it to me like...
Okay, so let's talk about a typical day in a keto lifestyle, right? First of all, I'm going to have what now I've understood to be referred to as a bulletproof coffee.
Right? High-fat coffee. Bulletproof is a brand.
Bulletproof is a brand. So high-fat coffee. So that is a decent coffee, right?
It must be a decent coffee,
non-flavored.
Not filtered.
Not filtered. So if I had something like, let's say for argument's sake, I had Dow Egberts.
I don't know what their brand is.
Freeze-dried. Okay, let's think of another
just a bottled one, basically, like a refined one. Yeah. Or not a freeze-dried coffee.
Freeze-dried coffee. One of the better freeze-dried coffees. I'm just using that one as an example. Okay. With that, I'm adding a little bit of butter. Correct? Grass-fed butter. What else am I adding to that?
What you want. You want to add double thick cream, you want to add cream, you want to add cacao butter, you want to add any fat sauce. Any fat sauce.
Okay.
Also, don't go stick avocado oil in there or extra virgin olive oil in there because it's not going to be too...
It's not going to taste
great. Normally a saturated fat is going to
get saturated
wrong there. Okay, solid fat. It's a fat that's solid at room temperature, but a good one.
If I'm going to have breakfast, right? So, do's and don'ts. Don't have bread. I can have eggs. No issues.
You can have bread, but ones that are allowed that you can make.
Yes.
Or you can buy, like the Banting brand has a lot of different things you can buy. Or you can make your own. You can get cookbooks. You can get anything. There's just so much available.
With the proviso that I don't have wheat. Correct?
Yeah. So mainly like, I'll have like a flatbread that I make out of, I grind flaxseed, I grind chia, put some eggs in it, and just make like a batter. And I just make like a flatbread. And then I can have bacon and egg wrap in the morning with some lettuce and stuff like that. Because it hasn't got, I think the carb in that one that I was making was around about 1 gram of carb per flatbread. But it's got a lot of fat.
Yes.
So don't go eat a whole lot of sugar and have a flatbread made like that, because then you've got your fat and your insulin and everything causing havoc in your system. So you can't just swap and change. You've got to be stuck at it. So bread you can have, but you have to be made correctly.
Yes. Okay. I can have bacon. Yeah. No problem. I can have tomato. Yes. No problem. I can have mushrooms.
Yes. Within limits. Everything's got its measure.
Okay, of course. Limits, I'm just talking about what is allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've done the other day is I took the muffin tray. I took like a little vorse. More like a sausage, sliced that up, mushrooms, eggs, and I basically created a quiche, a little muffin.
Vorse and boerewors are different. Governed by law.
Vorse and boerewors are different.
Governed by law.
Please explain to me the difference.
Boerewors is a national dish. Okay. It's governed by law, the amounts of meat that's allowed and the amounts of fat that's allowed. Vorse, if it says vorse on the label, can have anything in it.
Really?
There we go, something to learn.
My buddy.
The more you know, the better.
So by boerewors. By boerewors.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the types of things I can have for breakfast, right? Lunch, what am I typically looking at in terms of allowances and not allowances? And here's my problem. My problem is I'm out on the road. I see clients. I don't take meals with me. I would in winter. But in summer when it's hot, I will not eat that. It's been lying in my car for 4 hours. It's hot.
Get a couple of bag.
It's not going to happen. I need to buy something.
Just told buy something. Look at my best ideals.
Where do I go and what do I buy?
Depends. What type of time frame are you looking at?
So let's say I've got 30 minutes.
You're probably going to have to go for a crap meal, but it's not. It's going to serve your purposes. It's going to keep you in keto.
What meal? That's
so
my
like I
question.
told you, like I'll go and have an XL Whopper or a double Whopper with a little bit of cheese on it. So I've got my fat sauce, I've got my beef. It's not the greatest sauce. Take off the bun, take off the sauce, lettuce, tomato.
Okay, so I'm getting my lettuce, I'm getting my tomato, I'm getting my protein, and I'm getting my fat.
I'd rather go to
Nando's. That's it.
Asking for a chicken breast. I want a plain chicken breast. That's all I want. I want the whole hamburger. It's quite a thing for them. They look at you as if you're going mad.
Of course.
It's like, this has never happened before. It's like, well, it's happening now. So just take the bun off. Charge me the same price. In America, you can just get cheaper because you don't have as much.
Because you don't have as much.
Yeah, they charge you the same price. So you just have your meat, your cheese, and not always the cheese because it's mainly processed, but and some little bit of the garnish there. You can have pickles. Pickles are great on for keto because it's got a lot of salt in it.
Okay.
Yeah, like it should have. Just make sure it hasn't got a lot of sugar in it, but just have it there is fine. You can have it. I've done it plenty of times.
I've got you.
It's just when you can't have, rather make do with what's around you. Adapt.
Absolutely, and that's specifically what I'm asking, because this is the exact thing that happened to
You
me
could go
yesterday
have some
afternoon.
MCT. You could keep MCT with you and have a table.
Where do I find MCT?
You go to any of the like this game.
Okay,
But
so
if
you
you're
actually get it.
not going to
So
say.
you actually get it from a pharmacist, because I haven't been able to find
Not
MCT.
a pharmacist. Normally a supplement. But like I said, we're in South Africa. We're not in a first world country. Nothing wrong with South Africa.
I know.
But
we battle.
It's you have carbs to get energy and to do gym. It's not or to be cyclists will know what you get, but you'll get it at most discounts, a decent discount. I don't know if you'll find it around this area because people aren't into their potatoes. Really.
See how you're judging the East Rand. Thanks,
I live
Rory.
in the East Rand. That's how I can judge.
No, look, I'm with you. The question is just where to find it. So you're saying, okay, discount.
You're just going to look. Your MCT powder also really health shops as well. The health shops, a good health shop, always have it.
Okay.
Most people are saying, like I said, I'm not going to give you MCT this morning because I'm making us all in the same cup. I can have up to 3 tablespoons and I'm cool.
Yeah, because you're already fat adapted.
Yeah, and I've got used to. Some people fat adapted still can't have it because it's just
too much for your stomach.
So
what you're saying is if I have too much MCT oil, I'm going to go to the bathroom often.
You'll think you're going to actually pass wind and it won't be wind. It's happened to plenty guys, and like you tell them, and most guys have no problem, especially some of the fighters are like 2 tablespoons, but work your way up from 1 teaspoon. Every 4 days go up. That's how little you go up.
Really?
And then you have the guys in hurdle. Not the intermittent, like the goals, and they go in and you just see them off the mat. And they just red in their face. And they're like, yeah, and I don't even have to ask a question. They come in, I said, I know what happened.
I know what happened, You passed wind. You shorted.
And it's not shorting, it's a bit worse than that.
Okay. And then in the evening, right? So lots of veg.
No. Within the guidelines.
Within guidelines. So here's the other thing. A lot of people are gonna. There's a difference between going keto and checking your macros. Now, how would I, who is a non-specialist or I don't know much, how do I go about checking my macros? And what is checking my macros?
Okay, so macros are protein, carbs, fat. 4 macros.
Okay.
Macros are totally different thing.
Protein, carbs,
and fat.
Fat.
Okay.
3 macros.
3 macros you get.
Yes.
That's what your body feeds on.
Okay.
So, you want to set your protein first. Protein is going to make you feel the most satiated. It's the one that's going to fill you up. Everything else does fill you up, don't get me wrong, but that's going to sit there and digest and release slowly. Anywhere from 4 hours to 12 hours is going to certain needs and certain proteins. So that's the digestion span of certain proteins. Okay. So protein set first on that your lean body mass. What are your goals and how are you training? Okay, so a normal person is going to I set them pretty standard at 1.3 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of lean body mass. Okay. Set their protein.
So I first check my body mass, my BMR.
How are you going to know what you need?
Well, I'm asking, I don't know how to do this.
You find your basal metabolic rate. So like this, so we're working on 2,000 calories a day. Your average thing you see on your RDA at the bottom.
Yes.
Set for 2,000 calories a day. You got, let's see, 100, let's go for 100, let's go for 100. 100 kilos is easy to work out. So 100 times 1.6 is 1,500 calories.
Yes.
1,500 grams,
1,500 grams.
Times it by 4, you get your macro, you get your calories. So 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories.
Okay.
1 gram of carb is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories.
Okay.
So say like you need 500 calories of protein for that day. Work at your carbs, no more than 20 to 30 grams in the ketogenic state, net carbs. What you get.
Yes. Perfect.
Total carbs and net carbs.
Yes, okay. So, which I'm getting from vegetables.
You take the total amount, this is how I do it.
Okay.
So total amount of macros, so you got, let's say, I said 500 calories of protein. You got 20 grams of carbs, 80 grams, so 580. The rest of your caloric needs goes to fat.
Okay.
And then
and by fat, you mean things like olives, avocado,
butter, all your saturated fats that are decent. That stuff. Don't cooking on high temperatures. And don't go frying on high temperatures because you're going to damage the fat. Okay, so you can grill or fry, but cook it at the right temperatures. There are temperature guidelines for fat as well. Certain fats are operated at certain temperatures. They've got carcinogens when they burn out. They taste terrible. You go to the smoking point. It's useless. As soon as they start smoking, it's
so what you're saying is cook on a lower
temperature. There's certain fats will go to certain very high temperatures, but you're going to know what you're doing there.
So for argument's sake, if I take olive oil, right, and I put it on a salad.
Type of olive oil?
Sorry?
Extra virgin you can't cook with at all.
Yes, that's right. Extra virgin.
Olive you can cook with.
So let's say extra virgin olive oil. I put that on a salad. Fantastic. The moment I cook with it, I'm actually destroying it.
Yeah, it's stuff.
That's right.
Very, 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 very quickly. I cook with a lot of ghee.
Sorry,
That's one of the best fats you can get. Like clarified butter, then you get ghee. So you cook your butter.
Spelled?
Ghee. The Indian community, a lot of India, it comes from Indian descent. Ayurvedic medicine, yeah.
Okay.
So you cook your butter.
It's called ghee butter.
Ghee.
Oh, ghee. Just ghee. What is ghee?
So ghee is basically you cook a butter till you've got rid of all the dairy and all of the moisture inside of it, and it gives you this very dark, awesome fat to cook with and to eat. You can eat it straight away. Almost got like a toffee caramel smell to it. It's awesome.
Okay.
How you make it is it's very specific. I make a lot of it and I sell it because you can't get it here. It's very expensive to get it.
Okay.
And it's just taking the dairy and moisture out of it. So some people can't have butter, but you can still get the benefits of butter and even make it a higher cooking temperature, a higher flash point, a higher smoking temperature.
Okay.
So you get this awesome fat and it just about does everything. It's got butyric acid, which is an anti-inflammatory. It's got your vitamin K. It's got your saturated fat. It's got everything in it. That's what butter. So it's got the same as butter, just minus the dairy and the moisture.
Yes.
So you get this like thick, almost fudgy sort of fat. And it smells like, and it's even got a taste, you can eat it out the bottle almost.
Oh, wow.
Once you adapt it and you're used to fat, you can eat it out the bottle because it tastes so good.
Yes.
But it's expensive.
Okay.
So yeah, that's ghee. That's one of the top ones. Ghee, butter, tallow, beef tallow. It's rendered fat. So you take the fat, you cook up animal fat and you make tallow. So that's what people used to cook with. I'm sure you read about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Much better than any other oil to cook with.
That's right.
All those rendered fats are so much better to cook with. And they're saturated, but we've been taught saturated is bad.
I know, it's not. So, I mean, part and parcel of looking at this whole diet is being me going and understanding where it is that we can. Because I personally believe in evolution. And I believe that we evolved in a certain way. Our bodies were designed in a certain way. So let's go back to hunter-gatherer. What would a hunter do for the majority of the day? He'd hunt. He wouldn't wake up and have three meals. Wouldn't have breakfast, lunch.
Same as a Spartan, same as a Roman soldier. What you're talking about, that 4-hour eating block, that's called a warrior fast.
Is that actually? Yeah.
That's a warrior fast.
Okay, I know it is the intermittent fasting.
No, that's not it. So intermittent fasting normally is an 8-hour eating block. Okay,
not 6.
It depends on what you do. Mainly an 8-hour and a 4-hour. I use an 8-hour and I use a 4-hour block when I'm using people for intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Sometimes so a 9-hour block, depending also. Sometimes
you're saying 8 hours no food, 4 hours food.
No.
Other way.
Depends which way you're doing it. Warrior, 4 hours food. Other way, 8 hours food. Calories within that period that you need to take up to that's going to keep you where you're at or get you what you need to do, your goal. So I'll do that often sometimes. I'll do a 20-hour fast. So my sleeping, my working, and then my eating. That's one meal.
Yeah.
Then normally I'll wake up. I'll have a half-fat coffee. I like my coffee. I like my half-fat coffee. I love them in the morning. But that's the first thing I'll do. I'll normally wake up at 4, by 4:30. I'll have a mineral water with minerals put into it to rehydrate my body, and then I'll start the process of what I'm going to eat, if I'm going to eat, or if I'm going to have a nutritional source, because that'll switch on my digestive tract straight away, my digestive system. So once I have that, I'm going to train. I'll train from 5 until about 6, and then my day starts.
Okay, I'm with you.
So and then it'll go probably until 2 o'clock. Normally I'll eat. 1, 2 o'clock is normally when I eat.
Yes, I'm typically around about there as well.
And
sort of 2, 3 o'clock.
My wife will, let's have a breakfast. I'll have breakfast. So then I just won't have the meal at lunch. I'll have a coffee at lunch if I need to with some amino acids in it and mixed with all sorts of different things, some collagen, all sorts of other things. And then I'll have 2 of those or 1 of those during the day, maybe 3 depending on what I'm doing. And then I'll have dinner.
Okay.
It just depends on what I want to do. You decide what you want to do. With keto, you don't really get hungry. It's very hard to get hungry.
Yes, and apparently your cravings go away.
That dopamine, you know that when you walk and when you diet, especially when you're not eating a lot and you walk into a quick shop or you walk into this, you get that like almost like an adrenaline.
Sweet.
You feel it in your body. You don't get that anymore.
Okay.
You don't get it anymore. But if you're running around fighting yourself, I want a sweet, you don't know why, and you just want it because it's there.
Yes.
You're never going to get anywhere. It's like a kid. Most people say, take that away, but I want that because he's having it. But that's not a logical way to want something.
No.
Just because most people are like that. They see other people having it. I'm left out. Shame. I must have.
I know.
And that's how we've all been brought up. A lot of people have been brought up.
Let me tell you, I get food envy. I have to order last. Because if I order first, because I'm a foodie, and I love going to restaurants, and I love food. If I didn't train so hard, I'd be so fat. And I'll go to a restaurant, and if there's 6 of us, I have to order last. Because if I order first, I'll place an order. By the 4th person, I'm like, so what that? Give it to me.
Boredom is one of the people.
I know.
They boredom for hunger. They'll just eat just because it's there.
We got back from holiday, and I had 3 or 4 days where I was seeing 1 or 2 clients and dipping my big toe back into work, and I was at home a bit, and everybody's like, okay, Hans, are you going to start keto? Because I said in the new year I was going to start keto. And I was like, no. And they looked at me, why not? And I said, oh, you mad? Let me get into my routine, which I've done this week. Let me go and see clients. I'm sitting here at home.
Slowly.
Are you joking? Boredom is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a routine, so I'm waking up, I'm going to work, I'm getting back, I'm training, my routine is set. Then I can start finding my nuances.
A lot easier to do. Yeah.
A lot easier to do.
If you're busy, it's a lot easier to do it.
Absolutely. Intermittent fasting is easy because I'm not seeing clients the whole day. I don't even want to eat.
Yeah.
I don't have time to eat. I sit back-to-back meetings.
And if you're a little bit hungry with morning, sometimes hunger is also lack of water.
Yes.
So and a lot of people don't even think it's because people don't like water. It's bland. Must have a taste. It must make me feel good. If I eat it, must make me no. Eating is a job. It's a job you got to do every day.
Eating is fuel. Unfortunately,
eating is the building blocks of your body. You're going to fall to pieces. Not just fuel. That's why people get it wrong. Not just fuel.
In the week, I managed to appreciate the fact that eating is fuel. On the weekends, I want to eat because I love food and because it's fantastic and because I want to cook roast lambs and I want to go to restaurants and have the best.
But you can have it.
I know you can.
Reason. You don't have to have 10 meals a day. Go pick. I'm going to have that. I'm going to go to that restaurant and have that.
Jared and I tested it sort of in November again. You know, everything's been this testing process for me to really understand it. And we'd go to restaurants and be like, I can order that. And then a couple of restaurants I'm going, oh, Banting. It actually says Banting meal.
It's been around for long. I mean, Tim Noakes does his thing and he does it well.
Tim Noakes, yeah. Professor Tim Noakes.
He's the Manier and one of the top authorities.
So you think? I mean, aside from keto, and I mean keto and Banting, we've said is pretty much the same thing. But also we could look at Professor Tim Noakes. And he's
taken a lot of flack for what he's opened up to the world. Not the only person that Jeff Polak. There's a lot of different guys that are older into it than Don.
And for guys that don't know Tim Noakes, he's actually South African.
Yeah, he's South African. Yeah. And he's just through things that were happening to sportsmen, getting type 2 diabetes, and they were fit, and then he started figuring it out himself. And he wrote books on having carbs and carb loading, and he changed his whole way. One of the very few people that are going to go, this is a lot of bullshit what I told you.
Yeah.
This is how we do it now. And everyone took him to court. You are telling kids that you tell him, and he won everything. Now people are still so backwards. But my doctor says Tim Noakes, but he just beat everything your doctor stands for in court, not just once, a couple of times.
Yeah. But the problem is, if you take, let's take the average GP, and God damn it, I mean, doctors are fantastic, and I always say, go to your doctor, right?
Most of them nowadays are drug dealers to make money. That's all they become.
And by drug you mean?
I'm not being ugly, but I mean, it's a lot of people become doctors now. How many people do you see sick and stay sick now, even when they have their medicine? Before they never used to be like that.
Yeah.
And they're having 10 courses of antibiotics. Yeah. It's not working the first or second time.
Well, in America, and I mean, I don't know the South African stat, but in America, by the time you reach adulthood, you've had 30 courses of antibiotics.
And that's what makes you sick all the time, because you're so weak, and you become immune to them.
Yes, you do.
Build up a tolerance.
Of course you build up a tolerance. I mean, you shouldn't be taking antibiotics unless you really have to. Yeah. And then there's the flip side. After antibiotics, do I then take probiotics? No, and most people.
And which ones do I take?
And which ones do I take?
But
most people don't even know that I need to balance the antibiotics with the
probiotics. Because he's not going to get repeat business.
There we go.
Drug dealer.
Yeah. Okay. Look.
Not all of them. Don't get me wrong.
Not all of them. But I do agree with you wholeheartedly. But the problem is they don't even understand.
No, they don't. That's the thing.
The food. I think. I'm gonna make a guesstimate and say between 60 to 80 of the world's chronic disease and illness is as a result of bad food.
Well, probably more. A hell of a lot more.
Okay.
A hell of a lot more. But there'll be someone who'll try to think, you're out talking shit.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion, and that's how it's going to start.
And we're allowed to have our opinion.
And that's a great thing. If you get all pissed off because someone's got a different opinion, there's something wrong with you. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. So if you can't deal with other people's opinions, you are just backwards.
Absolutely.
You've got to talk ideas. You've got to be able to talk about them. And not
it is. Open
beat each other to death because, I don't believe what you're saying, kill him. That's what most people do now. That's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
If it's different, you shun it.
Of course you shun it.
And if it makes you feel bad because you're doing bad, then shun it so that you actually try and pull them down so that it's your level.
So that you can feel better.
Yeah, feel better. And that's when you say you're doing something healthy, the first person they'll try and, but you did this the other day. They try and just bring it down because they subconsciously they're not happy with themselves.
Yeah. And they're also trying to find outs. And justifications as to why.
They do it.
So I often, such an old adage, but you don't find time, you make time. And a lot of the people I speak to, even from a consultancy point of view, from a business point of view, so I'm actually a management consultant and I do social media, etc., etc. But when I'm talking to them about health and lifestyle and things like this, I'm going, train. Oh, but I'm so busy. I'm a business owner. And absolutely you're busy. You're a business owner. I get it. Right? I'm a business owner and I own head up 7 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu clubs and do a podcast and
try and do that with you and you work.
And I work. Yeah. Okay. I don't find the time. I make the time. I plan.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Oh.
I now need to make food a part of my planning because training is a part of my planning, podcasting is a part of my planning, my business is a part of my planning.
Everything.
That's it. Now I need to start making
operate.
food a part of my planning. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I want to be rolling and doing jiu-jitsu at 90. And that's my goal. And I've always said 90, you know?
Easier, you put pressure.
Well, no, it's a long-term goal.
It's a very
and we know that if you set really long-term goals, you know, your subconscious brain will help you get there. So my idea is, I mean, in the next couple of years, I'm going to be getting my black belts. I want to simultaneously buy a cold belt. When I get my black belts, and I'm going to put it in a big frame, and I'm going to put it up, and that's going to be 85 to 90. That's my goal, to one day have that cold belt.
Yeah.
I may never get a cold belt.
Actually,
Let's be realistic.
But
It's not even the point.
It helps
It's just there.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the reminder of, okay, there's a really big, strong guy. I mean, Rory, you know, 6'2", 90 kgs, and he walks in there, and I'm 75 kgs, 37 years old. And I need to be able to turn around and go, he's stronger than me. And I don't need to. I can put my ego in my pocket because it's about the journey.
Yeah.
It's about rolling at 85, not proving to this guy right now that I can beat him. Because who cares? Who cares? He's not going to tap me. Unless he's a high belt than me. I don't care how big he is. He's not going to tap me. You know what I mean?
He'll give you a hard time, maybe. But that's what
He's going to give me a hard time.
You're gonna
The
learn
typical
about
gym guy is going to give me a hard time for 3 minutes. And then he's going to gas. And then I'm going to start smiling.
Sometimes less than 3 minutes.
Insert evil grin here. Okay.
Anything, yeah.
So I want to discuss a couple of clarifications in terms of keto. Right. Salt I'm allowed to, pepper I'm allowed to. Dairy, even cheese, even processed cheese.
Okay. Anything like straight away food source.
Okay.
Main thing is food source, quality of food source. So
Yes.
that's all it's all about. Get the correct food in you. Okay. So dairy is fine. No milk.
No milk.
1 glass of milk has got almost, I think it's 12 grams of
So
sugar.
I'm making my
Sugar
own
is in
notes.
lactose, but it's sugar. Lactose is sugar.
No milk.
Like I said, 1 glass is 12 grams of sugar. The milk.
Okay.
Your butter, your cheese, hard cheeses. Most of your cheeses don't have a lot of carbs in them. Butter has nothing. Your creams have a little bit, so just pay attention to what's going on
So
there.
amount.
I have a lot of cream. Like if I get home, like you also get home late. I only go to bed about 11. I wake up at 4 every day. I've got a serious.
You need to get more sleep.
I know.
You need
So
more
I
sleep.
get home. Now I want to cook food. I'm like, just now I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, I cook most of the food. My wife cooks, but I'm very finicky with food. I'm a hell in the kitchen. If I see someone cooking, I want to eat it. Just the way I am.
Okay.
Do like you weird. No, I'll want you what goes in.
Yes.
So I'll just take like some lamb mince or some grass-fed mince, chuck it in there, put some salt, start frying, and just take a cup of cream poof, and then I'll eat.
No,
With
I
some
could do,
spices.
yeah, I could do that easily.
And let's not do
Now,
if
spices.
yeah.
Talking about
Yeah,
spices.
yeah.
Right. I love spice in my food. I mean, I'm a foodie, right? What spices can I... Robertson spices.
Quality
Stock-
of food source.
I'm asking. Stock standard Robertson spices that we buy. I can't have it.
It's not because they taste terrible. They taste cool, but they irradiated. They've been stuck with refining processes. So
Okay. Where do I find my spices?
go to a proper place to buy the spices. So go look. This can sell some. I hate saying retail
That's
places, but they sell organic spices. They sell organic spices and non-irradiated spices. Just go look.
Okay.
Just have to look.
Okay.
You can get it at a health shop.
I'm learning.
You can get it at an Indian place.
Why do you think I'm asking these
Go
questions?
to like a
Because
proper Indian spice
I'm
shop
hoping
and get
that
it
you're going to
proper.
say, yes, Huntley, you can have it.
But you
I
don't
mean,
want most places. If you go to like a proper, like we get some nice places in Durban, Indian place, or even in Joburg, where you can mix your spices. That's where you want to mix your spice. Don't go buy some mixed spice because it's going to have dextrose in it.
Okay, so
It's going to have dextrose.
anything that is pre-mixed in a bottle,
yeah,
basically
I wouldn't really
going,
touch it because you don't know what they're mixing in it. Because they'll just say sometimes stabilizer E6. It's like what the hell is the number?
What is that?
What is that? Is it going to affect me? It will affect you because they're not supposed to be there.
Okay.
So most of the mixed spices have dextrose in it. If you go look, most of them do. Like, probably all of them. But if you go to a place where they've got proper spices and you trust the source, or they are known, Indian places are the best because that's what they eat.
Yes.
That's where ghee comes from, Indian ghee.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you won't get grass-fed ghee probably unless they tell you it is. But go get spices that are similar that are mixed, and then you got your mix.
So I'm with you. I mean, I was in a mall in KZN now in December called Cornubia, and they've got a massive pick and pay there. And obviously, it's a very big Indian community, and I walked in and I was blown away with the foods that they had there and the spices. And okay, all right. Question: soda water.
I don't drink much. See, I don't drink much carbon dioxide. I don't like drinking carbon dioxide.
I don't know what it is, okay, but I love soda water.
It's got a lot of salts in it, buffering salts in it, but it should be fun, eh?
Should be fun.
See, I don't drink fizzy drinks.
Okay, yes, one thing.
I'll drink
but
a little bit of
just
Coke
normal soda water or even sparkling water.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not going to kill you, but you don't want to drink carbon dioxide.
Okay.
But it's fine. I'm just like it.
Okay.
Look at the pH of the water. So most people say it doesn't matter, but normally carbonated water is like 4.9. What is that? It's an acid.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Alcohol. Right. So, of course, you have the hold on. You have the professional sports person, right? Martin van Staden. And, I mean, he might have alcohol once a year, for argument's sake, right? At a year-end FFM party. I mean, or something like that. Right? Okay, alcohol's not an issue for him. For me, for the standard. So for argument's sake, yesterday, one of my clients, Friday afternoon, we're supposed to meet at Mug and Bean. We're doing a consultation. He says, Hans, I really feel like a beer. So I said, 100%, bro. So we went to a pub late afternoon, and I said to him, look, I'm not having a beer, but you can have a beer. He says, no, let's go to Mug and Bean. So I said, okay, look, what I'll do is I'll have a different alcohol source. Okay. He says, sure. Is you sure? And I said, yeah. Fine. So we sat down. He had a beer. I had a single tot of Johnny Walker Red, right? And I had 2 glasses of soda water, just because, again, and that's all I had. Nothing else. It's not because I want the alcohol. It's because it's the environment. Yeah. It's the environment. And this is the realities of the life that I live in. Okay? Me far less than others, because I'm not that guy. It's a Friday afternoon. Ordinarily, I would never, ever touch alcohol in the week. Or a Friday. So the only time I'd ever touch alcohol is a Saturday afternoon or Saturday night. That's it. But the reality is, let's take somebody like my fiance. She loves wine. Okay.
Dry red, dry white.
Dry red, dry white.
In
moderation.
In moderation. So like 2 or 3 glasses.
Low calorie, low alcohol. So we drinking
no sweet drinks. All white spirits.
Yeah.
No white spirits are fine.
White spirits, correct. So whiskey's good, vodka's good.
So what you're going to take yourself, you are drinking unhealthy stuff. So you're never going to add healthy. It's never going to be healthy what you do.
No, not healthy, but we're talking about the worst of the demons.
You don't want sweet stuff. So you can have your whiskey, a little bit of whiskey. You can 1 or 2 beers. But once again, you're going to find out who you.
I find that the moment I have that beer,
once again, it's personal preference.
Pizza crash.
Certain people can drink a very little bit and they'll be kicked totally out of it. And some people can drink a lot and they won't. But stick within the guidelines. So gin, very, very good to drink. Not good to drink, but if you want to drink and not have problems, have gin. Gin and no carb tonic. Have vodka. You can have a lot of it, but you're going to feel terrible the next day.
Oh, no, of course
you can binge. If you binge, you're going to feel bad.
Apparently, you get drunk far quicker on ketosis.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you what your news, but no, I was like, it depends on the person. Once again, like, you do get pretty drunk on it, but and you can feel pretty shit on it as well the next day. Quite bad. And people's ketones go up. They're reading, especially if you're taking a pee test, and it's because your body's not burning ketones just to get rid of alcohol.
Yes.
So it's not.
So basically, what it's doing is your body's spending the time getting rid of the poison. Yeah. So it's not producing ketones. So you've almost put yourself on like a pause.
Not a pause. No, you get a high ketone reading, but it's because your body's not using. It's going to get rid of the bloody.
I see.
Alcohol out of your system.
I see. But it's not using that for your energy.
Not properly.
Okay.
Not correctly.
Okay. So, but I mean, the reality of life is not everybody's a professional sportsman.
No.
You
can have your white, like I said, white spirits. There's beers, there's champagne, certain amounts of it. Like
so if I came home,
normally around about two like wine glasses, which is 125 mils, not a flippin' wine glass.
Yes, 125.
2 of those are fine with the dry red, dry whites. I've had a lot more than that, and it's worked out. I don't drink often, but when I drink, I'll drink.
If I come home with my fiance in the evening, right, and are we drinking a low kilojoule, low alcohol, dry white wine? And do you know what I'm even doing? Again, I'm going spritzers. I'm going half wine, half soda water.
Yeah, it's fine. But you're taking control of it. You are controlling it and enjoying it.
Yes.
Don't enjoy it and not control it.
Correct.
It's very different.
So let's say, for argument's sake, it's a Saturday afternoon. I'm at a friend's house, and a bunch of Mexicans in the form of tequila come to the party.
Tequila's fine.
No, tequila's fine. 20 of them aren't fine. But I do take 20. Okay, and I get completely smashed because the Mexicans came to the party. I couldn't get rid of them.
Problem.
No, my question is, the next day, right? How do I now speed up the process of getting back into ketosis? Because it will kick me out, will it not?
It also depends how well fat adapted you are. If you do that in the beginning, you're just screwing yourself around. Like I said, you're jumping in and out. I used to do in the beginning when I first did it and played with it. And that was 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was doing.
I feel like I'm behind the times.
No. I did it for a little bit and I threw it away because it was just like, it's just a bit too much for me. And it's because I never got... So now when you start, you don't train hard on it either. So you've got to get yourself fat adapted. And then you can start playing with all this stuff. A lot of people say every 12 days I'll have a feed. I used to do that as well with people. You just find they don't get along as well as they do if they're strict for about 8 to 12 weeks. If they're very strict...
Okay, so you're talking about a very strict period of 8 to 12 weeks to do two things. Number one, get into ketosis, and number two, get fat adapted.
Yeah.
Then once you're fat adapted, then you can start playing with what kicks you in and what kicks you out of ketosis. Now, how am I going to test that?
So you'll see your readings. You take readings every now and then.
So I'm asking, how do I actually do that? Because I haven't done that.
You've got to
I need to buy.
You get your eating plan. Okay, so you get your eating plan. This is what I have to eat. That's a structured eating thing. It's not just go eat what you want and figure out what you want.
Damn it.
I can't do that. So, because you have to learn now.
Yes.
So you can either have a guy that's going to go, do this, and never tell you, or someone that's going to lead you through the process. So that's what I'll do with people. That's why.
Yeah, you're going to be my consultant and slash mentor.
When they want, and it becomes quite a pain in the ass, but there's no excuse for you to say, I didn't get a hold of me.
Yes.
And I tell you to get a hold of me. I tell everyone to do that. Get a hold of me on some sort of like a WhatsApp's easiest because I'm pretty running, as you know, I run around a lot.
I know.
And I will reply to you. And rather than seeing me, you're going to see me now and then you're booked for a month later, or whenever you're going to see me later, get rid of those little niggles before you get to me. Because when you get to me and you've got 50, how are you going to solve and try and make you understand 50 different things in an hour session? Let's go over this. And that's how most people do their business. Come see me in a month and now they've got all these questions. It's pretty easy. If you know what you're doing.
Okay, so I've got my eating plan, right? I've stuck it out for 2 weeks, right? How do I test myself? To see whether I'm in ketosis or out of ketosis.
Probably if you listen to the first 4 days.
Okay.
But you'll test with a urine test strip.
Now, what urine test strip?
You get a 10-panel urine test strip. So that's
10-panel urine strip, which I can get from? Discount?
Some do very good ones, but they don't really order them. So
where can I get it from?
You can order from those people over there. They sell them for cheaper than
Okay, who's those people over there? Grab that.
This is our first exogenous ketone in South Africa.
Okay, and we're going to talk about this now.
Yeah, so this is the first product South African local is lacquer sort of brand.
And what is the actual product called?
Keto Exo.
Keto Exo.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to the website.
Yeah, Keto. I think it's Keto Sports Nutrition.
Do they also have a shop that I can drive to and buy?
No. This is very new stuff. So like in South Africa especially.
All right, that's fine. So they've got an online site.
Yeah.
I can go onto the online site and order myself
all things keto.
the P strip.
Yeah.
Right. So I do set P strip. I realize I'm in ketosis because it indicates that I am. Fantastic. I realize that I'm out of ketosis because I've done something wrong. I now need to get back in.
Reverse the process. What did you do different to the food before?
So identify what it is you did different. Correct. Eliminate.
Don't change anything.
Eat the same. So there's 3 ways I can get into ketosis. Through my food. Correct. Which is through the ketosis diet. Through something like an exogenous keto.
Yeah, external source.
Which is yes, correct. So this is actually a ketogenic supplement.
Yeah. It's actually the ketones. It's with BHB, which is beta hydroxybutyrate. That is the actual ketone. That's a ketone body.
Okay.
And then they bind it to a salt because it's the stuff's not palatable.
So I had some this morning.
Yeah.
Little bit salty. Yeah. I can drink. I'll drink it.
A different trace
but like we said, a lot of people have very...
They want nice instantly. Like
weak
perfect.
palates.
Yeah.
Yes.
They want perfect.
They want perfect. They want it to taste like it's a milkshake. It's not.
No.
It is a ketone sauce.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So that's more like a pre-workout. That's not just exogenous ketone. So that's got a whole little...
Okay. And for the listeners, it's actually called Keto Exo. Yeah. KETOEXO. Exogenous ketone supplement.
They'll probably only released end of next week.
Okay.
So yeah. I had a chance to get some over the holidays and they work quite well.
You've tested it yourself?
And working very, very well, exactly to the label claims. They're actually better sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've tested it against some of the other keys.
What would the cost of something like this be?
That I think is going to retail for $8.99. If you compare it to any of the American ones, they have a minimum of one for buying it that side.
Yeah.
Importing it.
Even worse.
Even worse.
Even worse. Look, it's not cheap.
To get it through customs and not going to disappear as a supplement.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be taking this every day, though, would I?
You can if you want.
No, would I, though? In reality?
If you've got the money to, yeah.
If you've got the money. Okay, I don't have the money. I'm an average IT guy.
The serving I'll give you should feel like now you can feel something happening. You can feel a lot easier in your brain.
I feel great.
Yeah,
I've had the bulletproof coffee over the Keto Exo. I'm just hoping I turn into the Rain Man.
So, sorry, what did you say there? I just lost my train of thought.
So, would I take this every single day?
Yes, you can.
You can, but would I?
Now,
Or do I need to?
I'll
Is
give
it
you a full
necessary?
pre-workout serving.
Okay.
You had a full pre-workout service. That's going to give you 12 grams of BHB, beta-hydroxybutyrate.
Okay.
In the form of a sodium beta-hydroxybutyrate. You get sodium, calcium, and magnesium. Remember the three we were talking about? Those work as your electrolytes as well. So you're getting your electrolytes straight away.
Okay.
You don't have to worry, not your all amount, but you're getting quite a lot of electrolytes just by having that. So you don't have to worry about too much salt. So before, you're going to take a quarter teaspoon of salt, drink,
Yes.
fiddle around with that. You still do that if you don't take that.
Okay.
So this will keep you far fewer symptoms of keto flu, and when you're in ketosis, gives you more ketones to operate. So you'll take this. If you're not really like a sportsman in that, every day you can take one scoop, half a serving. So it'll last you a whole month.
So it'll last you a whole month.
You can take, and I tell people how to use this, how I will tell people how to use this, is basically if you're going to use it and you're not training in the beginning too much, you mustn't train too much. So they'll have it, maybe they're bulletproof for their breakfast. A little bit later, they'll have the ketone, maybe mid-morning or just before they train, half a serving, and then in the afternoon, once again, like a snack, as if you were having your typical carb, just to keep the ketones up and the salts up, and keep you feeling pretty normal. That's the initial stage of it. After that, I use it every day, depending on what I do. Sometimes I'll use it before training, sometimes I'll use it when I wake up, because I start working straight away when I wake up if I've got work to do. And that just gives you an extra boost, especially on mental clarity. And I'm sure I don't know if you had a bit of a foggy head, but you're pretty clear now.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty clear. You tell me. But I do feel focused.
Yeah, very focused.
Very focused.
There's nothing.
After this, I'm going to go and roll and school all my students.
So that'll last for around about, you'll see an elevated keto, they'll start elevating around about 30 minutes, quite quick.
Yeah.
And then from there, you'll start your training session, and it'll be producing, and you'll be using up. You'll use them. They'll get rid of. They seem to get out of your body a lot quicker when you're not fat adapted or not in the ketosis state of ketosis, because your body's not using it correct. Your brain will use it straight away, but not everything's using it because
it's not fat adapted yet.
Yeah, it's not 100% correct, but your body will use it. Your brain will use it straight away if they're available.
Okay.
Straight away over glucose, your brain will
choose ketones
much more
over
efficient.
glucose.
So it gets across the brain barrier instantly. Glucose has to go through a process before it does it.
Okay.
So it's much more if your brain loves this stuff.
Okay.
That's your brain's go-to fuel.
Okay. All right. So almost like a brain fuel. In addition,
MCT is basically
MCT oil.
Yeah. So MCT oil, why we take it now is it's a saturated fat, but it's a medium chain fat. So it's not a long chain fat. So it breaks down a lot quicker. It doesn't go through the whole digestive process to your lymph nodes, to your lymphatics. It goes straight to your liver, produces ketones. That's why people use MCT as a pre-workout. So whether you're ketosis or not, you're going to get...
people actually use it as a pre-workout?
Yeah. So like a lot of my guys, like especially the CrossFit guys, well, most people, the CrossFitters especially, I'll use like Evo, MCT, extra virgin olive oil, and I'll make a mash out of it. And then I can add some chili or add some flavoring into it, some spices, or some turmeric as an anti-inflammatory. Yeah. Add some pepper to increase the absorbability of the curcumin in it.
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper. Also, I use a lot of cayenne pepper.
Yeah. Why? Why is everybody cayenne pepper?
It's good for your various ailments, fat metabolism, all sorts of things. It's very, very good for you. And put that all into an Evo and eat it like an hour before you go train. And then you got all, as long as you set up your nutrition to accept, to work properly.
Correct.
It's the cleanest form of energy you can get.
So as long as I'm fat adapted.
Don't have to be fat adapted.
Okay.
Don't have to be fat
So what are you saying then?
Just as long as you're falling with, like a paleo is not fat adapted. Okay. Low carb, it's using a higher fat. It's 40% protein, 40% fat, and 20% carbohydrates. So
is that paleo?
It's paleo ratios for macros.
Okay.
And you must eat the paleo.
And what are my ratios for keto?
Keto
5% carbs.
5% carbs, 20% protein, and 75% fat. But then you can modify it depending on what you're doing, because your energy requirements change. That's what people forget and then mess it up.
Okay. So for argument's sake, I'm on holiday. I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm eating those ratios, right? Perfect. I come back. All of a sudden, I start training 7 days a week.
You'll flatten out very quickly.
There we
your
go.
body will just bomb. You'll just have a lot of energy and you'll be very sore.
Yeah.
Because your body can't really repair itself correctly. Or it can, but you can't have...
So for guys who train more than others, so let's say for argument's sake, I got a guy who goes to gym. He runs, a friend of mine, he probably runs 10Ks in the morning, goes to gym at lunchtime, and I'll run another 5Ks in the evening. Okay, big boy, just man, he's super, super fit. Okay, that 20,
75 not going to work.
It's not going to work for him. So would you then increase the carbs?
I don't play with carbs first. You play with the protein and the fat first.
Oh, okay. So then would you increase the protein?
Yeah.
So no.
Carbs will normally sit around about 20 to 30 grams of net carbs, which is basically the glycemic carbs. Glycemic carbs give you an insulin response once again.
Okay.
Fiber is classed as carbs.
Yes.
Okay. So glycemic carbs also carbs. So now you've got two different carbs, but total carbs mean nothing. Certain people it does because they're sensitive, but most people if you've just got total carbs on your nutritional fact sheet at the back or something, that means you minus the fiber from the carbs, you get your net carbs.
Okay.
Those are the glycemic carbs.
Okay.
If you get glycemic carbohydrates, that's what you work off for most people. But in the beginning, it's also good to just go total carbs just so that you...
Correct.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do is you play with the protein. Yeah. So still 5% carbs, but now I may increase the protein to whatever degree.
Well, if you're a sportsman and you're creating muscle fiber damage and stuff, you have to fix it. So you're going to need a little bit more.
Yes. Or protein.
Yeah, protein. Fat also, you're going to play around with the fats. You play around with the fats.
Different types of fats.
So
let's say for argument's sake, I'm in agreement that the average South African or average guy out there, right, that ratio that you gave, I think that's perfect. But for somebody more sportsy, so let's say
start them off on that ratio, though.
You'd start them off on that ratio.
That's the way
definitely.
Okay, perfect. But if something starts happening, you got to start.
I'm going to start off with that ratio, despite the fact that sometimes I'm training 7-8 times a week.
But you see, now what you're going to do is that process, when you start in the beginning, you can't operate properly at sports you can, but you've got to slow everything down.
Okay.
You can't have something that's very high energy happening because your body is changing its energy systems. It's rebuilding. It's like rebuilding.
It's reprogramming itself.
So it's basically getting more density of mitochondria in yourself. Because the mitochondria is where everything goes. That's where your fat specifically goes.
Yes.
So if you don't have enough, you're going to get fat going in there, but it still has to adapt to make every cell get that happen. Not just one, not just 10, not just a million, billions.
Yes.
Okay, they all have to change. So sometimes a leaner person will take longer because their body's not used to burning a lot because the fat's just not there.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to get rid of it. A guy that's more fat,
quicker
or bigger, tend to turn over a lot faster and lose weight a lot faster because they're just big and their body just wants to get rid of the fat. But that's the simple way of explaining it.
Yes, no, I know.
A lot of people that know that, but you can't explain it complicated because people just start moving around.
And also, a person who's got more fat has got more fat to use.
Yeah. So sometimes athletes are getting quick, sometimes, but it doesn't mean if you're getting ketosis that you're going to perform.
I had such an interesting study the other day, such an interesting article. So what this guy did, he was morbidly obese, massively obese, and obviously under medical care. He did in excess of a 300-day fast, right? So here's the interesting thing. He lost tons of weight, but his skin actually shrunk with his weight loss. He was on full state of ketosis.
Yeah, that's why.
The whole time.
So the right amount of collagen, you've got the right amount of everything to sort of figure himself out. Now, I had a guy last year, he came to me, he was 198. That's
198 kilograms.
Okay, so I was like, okay, cool, this is how we're going to eat. There's no other way to do this because that's what what's the problem? He's big, he's probably insulin resistant, he's go send him for his tests. Okay, we can do this now properly.
Yes.
Stick him on it. My phone's off. I was going to show you a picture of him. So, you know when guys are so much inflammation, they have red. They're like red, and it's not from doping, it's just from inflammation, blood pressure.
Yeah, and
within a month and a half, he was it 172? Now he's 140, so from June last year.
So you went from 190?
He's like 143, I think now. It's 198 to 143 now today.
Wow.
And exercising, the guy exercising and everything. So, but he does it nice. He likes to live life. What's the one thing you've got to live your life? He owns a restaurant.
You've got to be balanced.
So that's a lot of weight. That's a whole person. That's 58 kilos.
I tell you another thing. I look at the thing. That is a whole person. That's a
And that's an achievement. He still does.
That's my Great Dane.
It's like you look at it and like people go, but he's still. It's like, you got to deal with that guy. I had to deal just to walk into a CrossFit where everyone's training. Rory, I need you to help me.
Exactly.
That's how I respect that.
And don't knock the overweight. Yeah. And I'll say trying.
If they're sitting on their arse, they're useless to society and themselves and their family because they are making the problem worse as they get on with time. They must take ownership, otherwise everyone is going to hate you at the end of your life. They're going to remember you for negative reasons.
Yes.
So that's why you've got to take ownership.
Take accountability,
It's all good and well, you're sitting there, people are taking care of you. What are they going through? People don't think like that. I just eat what I want all my whole life. Yeah, but you're making other people, when you get older, you're making other people suffer because of you, because you didn't give a shit. And most people don't see it like that.
Yeah. But you said live your life, and I'm a massive protagonist of that because the fact of the matter is, yes, I can. What attracted me to keto was I could still have protein and I could still have good food, like really good food, and I can go to a braai and okay, so I'm not going to have the carbs, but I can still have a lamb chop. I can still have the salads.
Once again,
I can still live my life.
Certain people are very strict and they don't want to eat carbs again. But if you are a person that can control yourself, once you're fat enough, I'll go maybe literally every 2 weeks I'll go and I'll have carbs.
Okay, what form of carb? What will you have?
I'll go what I want.
Oh, anything.
Like the first time I've really cheated properly was on the 1st of January. I had a whole bowl of potato salad. Because that's what I like, man. It's potato salad. A whole bowl. And like, it's for 8 to 9 people. I ate the whole lot.
Cold potato salad or warm potato salad?
No, that was made the day before. I never want that.
Cold
but
potato
it doesn't.
salad.
It's still used that. The amount of it I had was a bowl that big. Just because I like it. And I plan to do that.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do. And
That's my jam.
night before.
But you've got to live life.
By the next day, because I'm pretty strict when I eat, I was in ketosis. Not in the morning, but by the time I fasted the whole morning, by the time I got to lunchtime the next day, I was 0.8 millimoles of ketones, which is 0.5 if you're reading it on a meter, is in nutritional ketosis. I was already in ketosis.
Okay.
I read it normally over 1 or 2, but it was in ketosis. That's all I want. My body accepted it. I felt lacquer the next day. You pick up a bit of weight, you bloat up a bit, and then it goes away again.
Yeah.
And you're done.
I'm with you.
So it's all a process. Beginning strict, less stricter, and then what do you want to do? Let's figure out what we want to do. Do you want to have carbs? Do you want to be strict all the time? Do you want to? It's not strict. It's just eating within the system. Yes. It's not strict. People get like, but I don't like strict. It's eating within the system you've chosen. You've chosen it, so do it.
Yeah.
And there are allowances, but allowances within what you get good results from, not just what you decided is going to be your allowance. It's like, if you're going to go and binge all the time, you're going to have problems eventually. I don't think you can go binging every 10 days, because what are you doing it for?
Yes, then you're basically
doing it to binge every 10 days. You're just making another excuse to eat more unhealthy. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and it is. But the problem is as our society is built in such a way that food is an event.
Sure, but it's in your head.
Of course, I'm not arguing with you.
And it's hard to get away from that. But I have to also get
that's it. Food is an event.
Sitting and mixing like rehydration. Most of the fighters on keto, you know that. They all like eating most of it.
Yes.
So like I'm mixing stuff, and like you got a bit of honey, and you're making like a hydration again. What did I do that for?
Oh, because of the honey.
Because you're just not thinking.
Yes.
That's how we set up.
Because you can't have honey, can you?
No.
You can't have fruits.
You can.
What fruits? Because fruits have got sugar.
Yeah, but you can have it, but don't. You can't have it every day.
Okay.
You can also target it. You're not targeted keto.
No, please tell me.
Targeted keto is having carbs around your training sessions. So you have it.
Okay, so what you're saying is
don't go have like 50 grams of sugar.
No, but I have carbs.
A tablespoon of honey just before you, like about 20 minutes before you walk onto the mat.
Okay, or I can have carbs directly after I've trained.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Always before.
Yeah, I prefer it before. Okay, so
why not after?
So now you essentially you can have your stuff. I normally wait an hour. Okay, and it's not because of some bodybuilding. It's not because of that. It's like I don't want my body to kick over to sugar straight away after training because it must use my fat.
Okay, so you're saying for the period after you've trained, regardless if it's running or gym or jiu-jitsu, whatever.
Blood and that quick energy to get rid of it, use it for your muscles.
Correct.
It'll use
so
straight away.
After that, I'm wanting my body to use its fat resources to power me.
Yeah, I don't want to, because once you get into a schedule, your body learns what's going on.
Of course.
It does it. It's
of course, it's adapted, yes.
So every time after training, it's going to know, I'm going to get that. Essentially, it does. With most people, it does. Some people, very few people, it doesn't. Like, I'm not saying everyone's different once again, but the majority of the people, you're also going to have an insulin response, and you're going to crave sometimes when you're not training. When you're training, you're going to have time to think about what it's doing to you.
Yes.
And you're burning up it quickly. That's how I see it. Because afterwards, certain people, once they have sweet, it's like they chase it. And people do.
I don't know why you're judging me, Rory.
That's once again, like I said, you've got to be honest with yourself, like in the beginning. Be honest with yourself. And the hardest thing is the truth for people, because you tell the truth, and normally it's a no. When you're asking a question about what can I do, it's no.
No.
Because you know, you're asking something, straight away you can see by the person it's probably a no, but you want me to try and tell you that it's, and you just...
I want you to just say to me, yes, you can have milk.
Yeah, but you're actually lying to yourself.
I can have dry horse.
Yeah, depending on what they put in it.
Okay.
Some people put sugar in it.
Oh,
you already know your butcher.
Biltong?
What's on it?
Okay.
Within reason. Everything's within reason. What is in your food? Food source.
Food source.
Is the person selling it to me, or are the people selling it to me reputable? Do they go to proper farms?
Correct.
Are they sourcing it from a proper farm? Is the farm well known? Has it been around since the farm that I get that the butcher gets from me has been around since 1896?
Oh wow.
So you could probably, I've never been there, but I'm probably going to go there because I need lots more meat now, because a lot of people want to buy it. Like, where do you source it?
Yeah.
And you can't just go there, and there. Some people's like, but that's 50 or 100 k's from you. Like, certain people just can't get like MCT oil. Certain cities just don't have it.
Couldn't find it.
Or towns don't have it because the people just
But thank God I didn't find it, because I wouldn't have known, and I would have gone, yeah! And then you know what happens.
Learn a quick lesson there, really.
Pass wind, not pass wind. Nice. It's crazy though, and it's difficult. And I think the majority of what the general populace out there need to realize is ketogenic, banting, paleo, vegetarian, if that's your choice, vegan, if that's your choice. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just realize that you've got to eat real food. And that's what it comes down to. And that's the biggest thing I've learned.
People want this magic bullet.
There's no
magic bullet in anything you do in life.
No.
Things are only nice in life once you've achieved work to get there.
Struggle.
If you don't work to get there, you might be fun to carry on jumping around, but it's not happy at the end of the day because you're not achieving anything. I don't care. I'm happy with my state of life. Like a big person, I mean, it sounds like we're picking a lot because that's what we're talking about. Fat loss, maybe, or weight loss or health. If you're a big person, I don't care who you are. You never see a big person running in their speed or jumping in the swimming pool. Why? Because they're self-esteem. They know what they look like, but they will lie to you. And they'll also normally be the funniest person in the room because that's how they have to deal with their problems. I'm not jumping on their head, but it's a fact. Essentially,
it's a fact.
It's almost 100% fact with almost a blanket sort of generalization, but I don't like to do that. But that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And so most people eat for comfort, and it causes a problem eventually. And some people they ignore that problem. They just, but I'm not happy. Look at me, I'm jolly. No, you're jolly. You're not happy.
No, you're right. Everything takes effort, and it's so for argument's sake, I have now, as of December, we've got our 7th club, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club in Leidenberg, and a lot of guys will turn around to me and go, "Oh wow, it's such an overnight success." Yeah, but I started Jiu-Jitsu when I was 21. I've been training for 12 and a half years. I've paid money, blood, sweat, tears, time, effort, creating after hours websites and gear, and overnight success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to know what you know. Like, really, what I know is some of the stuff you can't even read about it. It's like, because it's learned through experience.
Absolutely.
Everything in theory, if you studied theory, is like a blanket thing. Once again, it's a generalization. Okay, science is science. Okay, don't get me wrong, but
I'm with you.
When it goes to a person's body, it's not always the same because people have had different experiences with certain substances and substances like food and all sorts of things. It's going to change the way they do. If they produce it, they're going to have a different metabolism. This, and everything works differently. The hardest thing to do, how much have we learned in the last 5 years in nutrition throughout the whole world? Probably more in the last 50 years.
Absolutely.
Because the technology has come up, but the people aren't following it.
Yes.
Because they're in a
doctors aren't following it.
They come.
And because the information's just not out there.
Yeah.
When I say to people, I'm going to get my fat source, I'm going to get my energy source from fat, everybody's like, oh, what about your cholesterol? What about this? You can't do that.
If you're eating like all the rest of the people, it's a problem.
Of course.
That's why they have that problem. They don't realize, they don't connect to it. They have to connect to it if they're right.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what they're talking about.
Of course. Because they don't understand the science. It's not publicly available.
But the medical professionals don't even know most of them.
Yes.
There's very few that do in this country, that part. And like Tim Noakes is now having seminars, which is quite cool. I didn't even know that. But someone told me the other day, I didn't even know. And it's like, look, that's very cool. Helping healthcare professionals understand it.
Oh, wow.
Because when you're sitting in a hospital, they don't want to know that stuff. Because they don't. And the dietitian sits there, they're this big. They're telling you how to eat, and you're actually smaller than them, and you want to be healthy. And it's like, no,
I'm not listening to you.
It's like, be the person you're trying to tell people to be.
Of course. I can't walk around telling guys, be healthy, and I'm this fat slob.
Don't try and sell this to someone. People will ask you straight away.
I don't.
Because it's the worst thing. Like, after then, this is, I'm helping people, and this is what it's doing. And they just brush you off. But then they start looking, what are you doing? You're changing. The way you're thinking, the way your head, you're slowing down. You're seeing things better. This is what I'm doing. I don't know. Carry on. The next month I ask you the same thing. And eventually it's like, I want to try that. But why do you want to try it? Yeah, but I've seen most people are trying it because of the change they see in their friends or the people doing it. And most people try and sell it to people. And that's where people have been sold things their whole lives. People are waking up now.
But I tell you what, I don't try and sell anything to anybody because I don't believe that what is right for me is right for anybody else. It's right for me because it's right for me. And the guys who have spoken to me about it, I've said, try it, feel what your body says, and then make a call. But
you also got to, that's why I explain. A lot of people say, why do you tell me about the first part's going to be hard? Because it is. If I don't tell you about it, you're going to give up. Because I haven't given you, that's what to expect. Because if you run into a brick wall and you're going to stop it eventually because that's hurting. It's supposed to hurt just for another hour, carry on doing it, and the next time you break through, everything is hard until you break through it, and then you're like, I've got it. Anything in life.
And that's what I need to get to now. That's my goal, sort of, for the next week or two. I don't know, 5 days?
It's pretty quick.
5 days?
Yeah, pretty quick. To get into it.
Yes.
Then you're going to maintain it.
Then I've got to maintain it.
Yeah.
But my idea is
I've got it now, I can do something.
No, my idea is 2-3 months of ketosis, because I believe within that time frame, I can then turn around and go, right, this is right for me. And yes, I can do it with my sports, and yes, I feel good, and yes, my cognition is better, and
that's the first thing that comes right straight.
And I'm feeling great. And if I don't feel great, I'm going to stop it. Absolutely.
Some people have problems. I've had some people, but I don't know, like maybe one or two, and also people like things the way they've always been shown. And some people just can't get their mind around, like, why am I having that and not that? It's like, because that's how you have to eat. But I can't. But the reason is because you're eating in the system. But I want you to change it up. No. Eat in the system. And some people just can't grasp it. They've never been said no, like I said earlier. Certain people, and you know the people that we all work with, they aren't yes people.
No, they're not yes people. We're not dealing with yes people.
If it's wrong, you're going to be told it's wrong, and there's no, it's wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
There's no, like, 99% is not right.
No.
When people say, but it's wrong. Why? 1%
Chewing gum.
1% incorrect. Why? Because it's not 100% correct.
Yeah.
And people can't, in the beginning, it's got to be that strict.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't with most people, but you don't tell people that because most people need to learn through strict to sort of bend the rules later. If you're not learning through being strict, you're always going to bend the rules.
Yeah. I've got some fun ahead of me. I really have some fun ahead of me.
Journey.
But I'm looking forward to the journey and I'm looking forward to the rewards. Like I said initially, this isn't a weight thing for me. This is a health and lifestyle thing.
Most people.
You know, and that's really... I'm probably most interested because of the cognition. You know,
it's the first thing that comes around.
Yeah.
Not the physical attributes.
This is what I'm actually using at the moment. So, it's a company called Prime Self, and they have a multitude of products, but this product specifically called Mind, essentially, it's a young South African guy. He looked at the type of products. So, for argument's sake, that Alpha Brain is right. Developed his own formulation. Interestingly, has something in there which I know very well of, which is called lion's mane, mushroom extract, which is known.
A product with 7 different mushrooms in it and 50 for super.
Yeah, but lion's mane specifically. So this has got lion's mane in it, and then this is called a nootropic. So this is brain food.
Yeah.
So I mean, as you can see, for me already, this is something that I look at quite often, and I'm very fascinated with our abilities of how we can use our brain. You know, because at the end of the day, I've got two things, right? I've got my brain and I've got my body, and that's all I've got. My meat vehicle.
Most of us get limited by what society.
And my driver for my meat vehicle, which is my brain.
We get told, like, you'll read stuff and say, this is all you can do. And people are limited themselves. Brain.
No.
What you perceive to be reality is going to be your reality. And what you want your reality is going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't say I'm going to be a fairy and start floating around or be a whole, but within reason, you know?
Of course.
So, once again, once you set your goal, you make that your reality. That is my reality. And you'll get it if you try. Most of the time, you will get it. You much battle. It's never going to be easy. People are just going to run to it and it's done. No. You've got to fight it.
You can have two different sets of people. An overweight guy who sits and does nothing, and an overweight guy whose reality is I'm going to be at the right weight. And it's a decision.
It's all it is. It's a choice.
All right, Rory. Well, listen, it's been absolutely fascinating. A little bit overwhelming. Really overwhelming. But thank you very much for having spending some time with me on the podcast. I appreciate it. If anybody wants to get hold of you in terms of advice, or anybody else, I would suggest a couple of the books you mentioned. I would suggest Tim Noakes. And Rory, how can they get a hold of you?
I don't give my number out over that because I get some crazy stuff. If anyone I know on social media, look for me there. You'll find me.
Okay, Rory Diesel on social media.
Yeah, and if you speak to me there,
And I mean, you've dealt with some very serious guys. A lot of the biggest fighters in the country, pro sportsmen overseas. Yeah. So I mean, you're a very serious force in terms of this movement.
It's not a movement. I don't like. I do guys
lifestyle.
I like this word lifestyle. I choose it. I do it, but I don't push it on people. There's lots of guys that I do carbohydrates. It's just sticks to your life. What I do with the person is show me your life. Let's make it work in your life. Not trying to run around the food.
There we go. Okay, so let's make the food work around your life, as opposed to you having to change your life to work around the food.
Your food is a job.
How fantastic!
Schedule your job appointments. Where are you going to have the appointment with that job?
Yeah,
have it there.
Right.
Have it there.
Such a good.
You can't have it there. Have a backup that you've got. Maybe a shake. I don't like lots of shakes, but shakes have their place.
Yeah,
they have their place. If you can't do. I had food there. I packed my food, but I packed the shake just in case. I had to run into a meeting. I had 5 minutes. Drink the shake there. Yeah. Put the food aside. Have it later. Give it to a guy that deserves it or doesn't deserve it, that needs it. If you're going to waste it. If you can't eat it, don't throw it away. Give it to someone that needs it.
I like it.
Have your shake. You got two. Never give it an excuse. Give me an excuse. I'll give you 100 answers to beat that excuse.
Of course. and everybody's always full of excuses. But it has been an absolute pleasure.
Cool, man.
A lot of information, and I'm probably going to ask you to come back again in a couple of months' time, so we can talk about it again. But thank you very much appreciated. Thank you. Right, guys, that's the end of this podcast. So long and thanks for all the fish. Happy New Year, guys. All the best for 2018. What a great podcast. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you all guys on the next one. Thank you.